misery, terror, and mortality. And then make it so much worse. We are all eaters of souls. Let us begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Oddities D&D.
That was an ominous opening.
A little bit.
I guess we'll die.
There you go.
Oh my god.
These jerks. I tell you. These jerks. Me being the consummate professional that I try to be each and every week, I say to them, okay, we're gonna come in hot in 3, 2, 1, and then we kick it off. And what do? Trying to be serious there.
Obviously, mine being the most impactful.
Yes. You are the brightest star amongst all your faces right now. All right, before we get into the game, we're going to go around and introduce everybody, starting with Tits Alexander.
Well, you can call me Zanzan, but right now you can really just call me the Riz, because I got all that charisma. Oh! I play Nighttime Job Wizard.
And up from there, we have returning from the dead, Fred.
Tits out, sun's out. My name is Fred, and this is Girl Gone Wild.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
It's like a jump scare because it lagged on my end, so it went like,
No, it like-
and then suddenly.
Me too. So I was like my arms flailed in like,
Oh my god. Tag your
And
jump
their
scares.
subscriber count just increased.
So did my pulse. Across from there, we have Ari.
I'm not just a bad influence, I'm also a bad experience. And I'm Ari, and I play very excellent warlock. And this one's for Fred. She knows.
Put that on my
This is a deep
tombstone.
cut.
Last but not least, we have Chuck.
Tits Monkey, motherfuckers! I'm Chuck. I play a half-orc rogue cult who also has a nice set of tatties.
And a foot fetish.
And a foot fetish.
It's canon.
Oh, but I'm glad I wear makeup on my cheeks because I feel my face just flushing right now. Anyway, I forget what we decided on for the recap.
I kind of think we should go through our notes all together. and see
There
what we
you
have.
go. Yeah, sorry. I wanted like 2 hours of free time today, which is why there's
You
no
know what?
You deserve it.
Park picnics are completely worth it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we were started out at the foot of the mountain, and we decided to go to the North Mountain because it looked closer. And these are all backwards. We find some obsidian, a volcanic rock. I think we spend a little too much time wondering what that's all about. But we camp on the northwest side, and then about 10 creatures in the dark, white wolves, circle the hut that Nagheim put up for pretty much the entire night, freaking us out. But we managed to get a long rest in. Oh, Rose, you have minus 12 HP due to ice crevice. But I think that's now over because
Yes.
she got a long rest in
Yeah,
between. So
yeah.
ignore that note. Then we find a hidden forest village. This was the untrusting population Sari said we might find and that we should make friends with. There were basic humanoids with a few dragonborn. And there was, I have figures with glowing eyes. Was that the figure in the distance?
One
You went-
person. Yeah.
One person.
Also,
And,
we followed the wolves to the hidden village
We
in
followed
the
the
snow.
wolves to the hidden village. Thank you.
One thing I will just
well,
add in there, you say
Yeah,
hidden forest
Ancient
village. The village is
yeah.
inside
Cave.
In a
a
cave,
mountain.
yeah.
A giant
Inside a
fucking
mountain.
cavern.
Yeah.
And we had to enter some spooky mouth.
Yeah, it was like carved in the shape of a.
Just for Fred, if you look in D20, you'll get to see it because I do really like this image.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
And we meet who we think is the elder, Aloisio.
Lucio. Yeah.
All the vowels.
Drag that out. That's very Australian.
A redhead.
Australian of me.
What a twist.
And Nagheim explained the Aeorian papers, the vestiges of divergence that we have discovered, and we are here researching those. The writing is from Frostbogen. Symbol on the paper. Sorry, now I've just kind of I get a little disjointed in my notes. After the journey, we're to return to Frostbogen to see if we are to keep they're very private people, and they don't want anyone to know their location, and after we go and do our research, we're to return to review what we've discovered to see if we can take it back to Kiran-Suri. And then we spent the night. Then the next morning, they see a farewell ceremony to a young guide named Vernid, who has the most incredible voice I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, Jason, you committed to it. You committed to that voice. And we are to go 58 miles, 2 days there, 2 days back. And that's pretty much, if anybody wants to fill in any details, that's where my notes end.
We all went like our separate ways for the night. Like we all stayed in like our own little cabins and like did our own little stuff. Like I remember because Viria was looking for the person with the glowy eyes she spotted, couldn't find them. Went up a few levels and there was like a cabin house.
Ski
like,
lodge.
Ski lodge. There you go. Like up there. Chilled there for a bit. And she also thought she saw a fucking hooded figure.
But I think
At some
Jason
point near
clarified that
the-
it wasn't the hooded figure.
No, I didn't.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I
son.
Look at Ari's expression. No, I didn't.
Yep.
Now, I will cap that all off by adding one final thing at the tail end. That you did head out for at least the first day's journey. And as you were all settling in for the night, Nagheim conducted their spell to put up the bubble for the evening.
Supercharged huts.
Yes.
That's true. Because magic is
Yes.
whack.
Magic is very whack, as the kids say. So, with that whack magic,
Eloquent.
all of you on the outskirts of the bubble are forcefully ejected 20 feet back into the snow. And all you can see where Nagheim was seated is now a half sphere with rotating silver light about it. And you can't see within. What are all of you, aside from Nagheim, doing?
Okay, so Nagheim is out of sight.
You can't
That's
see
the
them.
part I wasn't. Okay, yeah,
Here.
that's the part I wasn't clear on if they were included in the ejected people or not.
The footing out. They got footed. Foot.
I'm
Cult's
gonna run back to the sphere.
Yeah, Cult's gonna jump up and sort of look around and is like, check in, everybody. And he's gonna
Good
tuck
morning,
it
I
in.
guess.
Rose, you alright?
Yeah,
Viria?
that was shocking.
Yeah, I'm good. Nagheim. I can't see them.
And you start like hoofing it back to the bubble.
Okay. So, with that, I will say... One by one, you enter a much different interior inside this bubble. Nagheim, if you would describe what they see.
You walk in and it's a cabin, much larger than what you would actually expect to see from the bubble. It's bigger almost on the inside. And in the middle, you see Nagheim sitting by a fire, just awe-smacked with the fact that this is a rather large hut There's books everywhere. Outside the window, you don't see you don't actually see the snow. You see a large lake. The sun is shining warmth, but it's not bringing light in. It's warm and cozy. There's the smell of tea and herbs throughout, and there is paper everywhere. But it is cozy and homey.
Sort of startled by this. It's like, magic be weird up here. Oh, where's our guide? Is Vernid within the hut?
You see Vernid just kind of sheepishly walking around the perimeter and like wanting to touch it, and then, but you know, thinks different of it. You know.
I mean, every winter kid has done it.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Viri, upon entering, like, because she was, like, rushing and, like, sprinting over, like, she kind of, like, skids to a halt and, like, barely, like, maneuvers herself out of the way of, like, a pile of paper. Like, then just kind of, like, takes it all in.
Rose is gonna walk in and just be like, Nagaheim, did you make this?
It's like a dream, but reality for now.
But not reality? Oh,
It's the bubble.
Colt gets a nosebleed.
Um,
On the table, Colt, there's some napkins.
Oh, yeah, of course. Vernid, you can...
yeah,
he just
someone should probably
sticks
let the poor
sticks
kid
his
in.
arm out
Yeah.
and just, like, beckons with a thumbs up.
This is... I didn't think I'd be able to actually see something like this.
So,
What is
I
this?
don't-
What is this?
I don't understand, how did this... Were you imagining this when you tried to put up the hut?
Well, I guess you're all kind of looking a little into my heart now.
Oh,
This
cozy.
is how I wish. I don't need a wizard's tower like I always say. Just a hut away from everything. But this is kind of a dream of mine.
It's a beautiful dream. And Colt's just gonna start moving around the space and kind of like looking at little things and picking things up.
There's really is gadgets and gizmos aplenty. Who's its and what's its galore.
I don't... Like, Viria's just watching, like, walking around, like, picking things up. I'm like, how is any of this, like... How are we interacting with any of this?
There's spells that are currently beyond my capabilities that make this just a normal thing. But if it were to leave, I'm sure it would not last.
Well, maybe you can aim for... I don't know how to put this, because I don't know anything about magic. It's all instinctual on my end, but maybe you can look into trying and reproduce this next time you put up the hut, even if we're not in Islecross anymore.
The strain that this put on my energy makes me believe that recreating this is not a normal phenomenon I will be able to do.
Yeah, but you are getting stronger. So who
I-
knows?
I'll try
And
to work
she
something
goes
out.
and, like, squeezes, like, their, like, little biceps. Just
You
I
just
can-
feel boned.
Yeah. She doesn't con. She's like, yeah, there's a bit more muscle there.
Ooh, I feel a vein. Or an artery, I don't know.
That's gonna bruise.
No.
Oh, I'm talking about my real flesh. Has Vernon entered the little cottage?
While they've been talking, you do see Vernid kind of step in, look around slowly, and then step slowly back out. And then step back in, step back out. So this happens quite a bit. Then, he just kind of looks behind him, puts his hand through a little bit, So he's kind of testing it out. He's never really experienced this before.
Oh, you good, kid?
Yeah, I'm just taking it all in. Don't worry about me.
Welcome to
This
the
is Vernon.
wonders of Arcane.
Yeah, I don't know
Welcome
how
back,
much
Fred.
experience you have with a magic kid, but this is kind of like amped up magic because your lands sort of have this way of pumping a bunch of energy into smaller.
Oh, but Nagaheim can do some pretty incredible stuff on
They
their own,
can.
even without the whole, whack
Oh yeah, the
magic
normal spell
happenings.
of this is incredible as it is, but we don't get all of this.
Mhm. Yeah, magic
Okay,
do be whack. Yep.
It really do.
Albert's like, I like this guy.
Albert's nowhere. Albert
Oh,
has
yeah.
not. I poofed Albert out.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so I'm guessing. Should we establish some sort of rotation for watch, or are we good?
Well, as usual, Rose and I can take the 2 4-hour shifts, and if anyone wishes to join us at a specific time.
I mean, Colton and I can stay up for maybe like 2 hours to keep you company.
I'm fairly accustomed to pulling all-nighters, so if you want, you can all take the night
Please,
off.
no, please don't. It's fine. You're,
2 of
you're,
us only need to sleep, or rest, I should say, for 4 hours.
Yeah, I
So-
can't remember. I didn't write down. Is Vernid a human boy?
Humanoid, yep.
Human boy? Like a
Humanoid.
Human,
Yeah.
or like is he a
We don't know,
orcish or elvish or?
You want to check? I don't know.
Do I check under his?
Hey, consent.
No, I say sex is of no concern to me. Is he elven? Like, can he stay up?
With the amount of clothing that he's geared up in, you really can't tell any distinguishing features.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. We come from a land where we recognize each other by our eyes. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll stay up for a couple hours, keep one of you company, and we'll get a night's rest in this amazing place.
So
Go.
I'm guessing this place has a fully stocked kitchen or something.
I have no idea.
I'll go look
A
through the cupboards.
fuck ton of tea.
Okay, a lot of tea. So...
And
Oh.
some dry bread.
Yes.
Some of our
Stale.
Rivita bread.
Bird feed.
Maybe next time you can materialize the kitchen with some ingredients.
Time doesn't eat that much, so...
There is a kitchenette, to be fair. It's just not anything that would produce something fanciful or plentiful. Just the bare necessities for an
I mean,
individual.
Nagaheim, if you ever get, if this ever becomes a reality for you, then, stock up whenever Rose comes to visit, I suppose.
Well, my goal was to set up teleportation circles with each of you. So, I was thinking maybe one day creating trying to figure a way that you won't need to use the spell, but you can go to connecting ones.
Well, I'll be honest with you, this is very close to... I mean, if there's such a thing as my dream kind of living space, so I don't know, maybe we could be faraway neighbors at some point.
I would like that.
A few miles, so that it's like you're not like in each other's face all the time, but you
Just
can
on the other
still-
side of the lake kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Jason, do I feel like I can get up and walk around the bubble, or do I still feel like I need to be in the middle?
No, you can get up and walk around.
Cool.
Is this like hollow deck rules?
Well, no,
Oh, I'm
normally the
not that
bubble, you
deep in the
stay
vein of
middle.
Star Trek, baby. What does that mean?
The hollow deck redirects you in a small space to make it appear bigger.
Hmm.
Oh. No, I mean,
Or
like,
this is TARDIS rules.
yeah. One thing I will note, Nagheim, when you saw each of your companions enter the bubble, like, if you peer out past the walls that are the
Yeah.
illusion around this place, you can see the silhouette of people walking outside. But strangely enough, whenever they enter the bubble, it arranges it so that they actually come through the front entrance, no matter where they come from.
Oh, so we
I
weren't
love
we weren't
that.
misting out of the walls. We were just being redirected through the door.
Yeah. But
Love
Very still
that.
managed to knock over a stack of papers that, were meticulous.
I
Probably-
maneuvered around
To be
it.
fair, by the door there would be like a little shoe rack, but instead of shoes, there's books and papers, and then there's still more, and they all have scribbles on it. Some have really bad arcane spells on it. Some of them have like the makings of it, and some just have like random calligraphy of practice. Like it's just like an assortment of like Nagheim got bored.
I thought you were gonna say books of shoes. Books about shoes, but oh, I love that.
Do you have books about feet?
Yeah.
This is not Cult's hut.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, Nagheim would get up and just put on a kettle of tea or a kettle of water over the fire. If this is fully set up the way I believe it would be, if you go around the wall in the middle, you should go into a small hallway on either side, which will break off into 2 different rooms on each side. So there should be 4 rooms. And each person should have, it wouldn't be anything fancy, but
I mean,
know.
this is more than we could ever hope so in this place. No offense, Brennan.
Vernid's just cautiously testing, like, if the couch is to be sat upon, but it looks too pretty, so he doesn't know if it's like maybe an art piece or something like that. So
have a seat.
Sorry, I'm just not used to such fanciful furniture.
You should take, and you'll all notice Nagheim has no shoes on currently, just socks. But like, you guys can
Oh yeah, hang
remove
on.
your
Oh,
shoes and get comfortable.
It's a shoes off place. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
all
of
right.
course.
I mean,
just
it's the
taking
best
off
way
the
to warm up by the
greaves,
fire.
Taking off the greaves. It's gonna take a while.
We have, Bernard, we do have 8 hours in here before it closes on its own. I'll make sure everybody has the hour warning beforehand. So that way you can put your traveling gear back on, but feel free to get comfortable.
All right.
And
Well, as long as when the sun comes up, we should be on our way. We want to make the most of the daylight as we can, but, rest and recovery comes first. So, by all means, I'll
I'm surprised you're saying that since you just said, you could pull all-nighters. That's kind of
oh, well,
contradictory.
when you do this for a living, you kind of get used to some sleepless nights here and there,
Does he have the feet that allows him to stay up all night?
make a perception check.
I was like,
Oh, wait, the feet to let him stay up all night. Oh, not what I thought you said.
No.
It's
oh
like,
my god.
what
I
do
mean,
your
I-
s-
I'm
what do his
still
feet
gonna-
look like?
Okay, Cult.
I'm still gonna
This
make
is
a
more
perce-
appropriate. Cult, make a perception check.
Oh my god.
Did
I
you
would-
Look at look.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That was a nat 1 for
Yeah.
my perception check, by the way. So at
Yeah.
least that's out of the way.
Great.
Oh wow,
Not that interested in Vernon's feet.
we're just
Apparently
starting
not.
off strong.
There's a moment where Cult has the inkling to just kind of like casually look down, but they're like, nope, not of age. Okay, don't do that.
Oh my god!
So close call, Cult.
That's not canon. That's not canon.
So I feel like I should take the second part of the 4 hour just to make sure I am able to get everybody up at the proper time to don their armors and outfits.
All right,
Oh my
so
god, I don't have to sleep in my armor. Oh yeah. And he starts like,
wait, do you usually
unbuckling.
sleep in your armor?
when we're out on a journey, yeah.
That can be comfortable. I at least take off, the
Well, your
metal
armor's
parts.
like metal. My armor's like leather. So
That's
just-
true.
if I'm restless, it gets a little creaky, but if you're restless, it'd get a little clanky.
It's just, well, not just that, it just digs into your, sternum.
I remember in real life, we were having a conversation about a large number of people who were wearing leather pants. And now that I know that Cult constantly wears leather pants, I'm like,
They do not breathe. Like,
No.
Not at all.
At all.
Every single
At all.
Every single person at that party at the bowling alley was wearing leather pants, and we were like, "What is going on?"
There was a group of apparently 50 18-year-olds that were entering the place, and at
All of the-
least
and it was
80% of the girls were wearing leather pants.
Weltering that
Yeah.
day. It was so hot.
Like those, I
Real
wear
hot.
those in the winter.
I'll make sure that whenever we all have
Anyway.
a group meetup, I'll bring all of my leather and pleather pants.
If I weren't visiting you guys in the summer, I would have brought one.
In real life, Xander will fail all their stealth checks. Just
I fail them anyway. I'm clumsy. My regular shoes are platforms. This bitch ain't being quiet.
All right, so everybody is going down for the night. Are you guys eating before you go to sleep, or are you just crashing?
Well, we should probably eat something, yes.
Probably
enough.
have see what Rose. You up for making anything? Because
I'll help
rations if
you.
we want.
I can, I mean,
Yeah, while everyone was talking about leather pants, Rose was in the kitchen preparing dinner.
Rhea also wearing leather pants, might I add, so
I remember I rendered them.
Yeah.
So is Rose.
Here
you
it's
go.
very
I rendered those
appropriate.
too.
I
Yeah.
think I am too.
Love leather.
And for dinner, it's gonna be really a very simple stew, beef cubes, potatoes, something very hearty and warm.
Yeah, I will definitely help, because stew is my specialty and the only thing I can make.
Colt will pretend to help, but he's really just snatching little bits of food.
Hey! She
Oh.
whacks your hand with a wooden spoon.
I dodge it.
That had
And
it.
you don't take the 1 point of damage.
Hey.
So, who wanted to take first watch?
I can take first watch.
No, but out of Nagheim and Rose, and then we can just.
Oh, it's me.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
So if
Nagheim
you
wants
want
to
to
be
keep her company, and I'll keep Nagheim company during the last 2 hours of their watch.
that sounds good.
It'll give me time to don my armor anew.
This is true. And I will get comfortable in a rocking chair that's a little padded, and just summon back Albert as a tiny baby owl and just go.
We need them to be something a little
God.
bit haughty for this weather.
Looking at Jason, when's he gonna make us roll on the wild magic table? Because that's technically a spell, no?
Well,
No, I can bamf them in and out.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
if it was a conjuring to bring them
Without
back, yeah.
using, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can bamf
Oh,
them
thank
back to
fuck. Okay.
because Albert Celestial, it goes back to wherever the fuck comes from, and he just kind of hangs out there.
Yeah, that
So
one
I
I
bring it
consider
back.
just opening a door, essentially.
Okay.
So
I'm not going to be
Okay.
so cruel.
yeah, I would just have that disappointed look of right, and then gone again. And just gonna get comfortable, put their book on the night table beside, just go into their trance, rocking
So-
softly.
Colt's going to Is someone drawing on the picture? Yes, sir. Sorry, audience, you can't see. It's Rose's drawing on our picture here. Kult's gonna get like a blank, like an Afghan, and just put it over Nagheim's knees, and just sort of sit and look as they sort of trance out, and just go, "Oh, Nanaheim." Yeah, got you mid-sip, didn't I?
It's coming out the nose. Everybody in chat, Nanaheim, Nanaheim, Nanaheim. I want to see it.
I was doing such a good time last time with not laughing at any of the voice or anything, and then he made that one side comment. And I was like, oh my god.
I'm clipping it, by the way. Like,
Amazing. All right, so everybody has had a nice hot meal. Rose, you're taking first watch. I will get you to make a perception check.
Can I assist?
Are you there too?
'Cause
I didn't know.
I'm with her for 2 hours.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bed.
If you want, Rose can do it at advantage then.
Take that advantage, not like you need it. Perception queens. Oh.
Well, she needed it. Oh man. So, as you're gazing through the bubble, it's very strange because with the original bubble, it's almost like there's just a bit of a screen dimmer along the surface of the bubble on the interior, and you can see clearly everything that's going on outside. Here, it's very strange because the walls from a distance, they look like the brick and mortar and stone that you're seeing in the picture here. But it's when you get up close that it almost seems like a bit of a tunnel vision opens up before your eyes, and you can see clearly through the other side. No kind of facade or anything. And strangely enough, it's almost like, what was that stupid sunglasses like infomercial back in the day? Like you could wear them at night and it makes things clearer. Blue blockers.
Blue blockers.
So
Yeah.
once you get up close, you know it's nighttime outside, but it's almost like as you peer through the bubble, it enhances everything outside so you can see clear vision of what would be out there. But you don't notice anything amiss, and it's strange being like in such a large area. You do find yourself having to traverse more around the room than you would just sit and watch from like a usual bubble. So you're a bit more mobile, but not really seeing anything of interest outside.
Cool.
And Cult, you are there as well?
I am there as well. He's just going to partake in some of the whatever is the strongest smelling tea that Nagheim has. And he doesn't like it, but he's gonna try it anyway. He's not
Can
a
I
tea guy.
can I throw this out for you, Nagheim?
Oh yeah.
The strongest smelling tea would be a near full pot. Not pot, like a jar of unused Earl Grey that has gone bad. Because Earl Grey is awful.
It is though. It
No,
really is.
Bergamot is the god flavor. I won't.
There's actually like, after you taste it, you look back at it like, why would Nagheim have this? And there's a little note that just says, "Do not drink bad tea."
Some things I remember.
How dare you? Oh God, I'm not making my special Earl Grey ice cream for any of yous. Unless Ari likes
Have
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason regrets his decisions. But yes, you do have that tea.
Rose, you've been quiet for a long time. This is awful. And he still takes another sip, thinking that this is all tea is like this. It's like, well, I don't know if it's bad tea. It's just tea. Most tea's bad. It's just hot water run through a sock of plants. Anyhow,
If it tastes like a sock, why are you drinking it?
I'm just trying to like connect a little bit more with everybody's likes and dislikes, but maybe it's okay if I don't like this. He finally puts it down.
I've been wondering. Magic is weird here, right?
Oh yeah, everything I've tried to cast is either just tuck it out. It hasn't worked, or it's worked really well.
So, like, is this bubble thing a good thing or a bad thing? Because, like, it looks pretty and it's cozy. But I wonder if it's a good thing, really.
I mean, I don't really know how it all works.
Mm.
Especially from an Arcanist's standpoint, but I mean, I don't see if there's a downside yet. So far, we haven't had much downside. If they don't work, that's the downside. If they do work, they work incredibly well.
I don't know anything about magic. It's just very weird.
I don't know anything about wizardy magic, where you gotta study all the time. I just know about how to take my faith in my god and sort of weave it into something that I need at the time. I think the best way I could describe it is if you're out in the woods and it starts to rain, you take maybe all the leaves and some branches from the trees to make a little shelter to keep the rain out. That's kind of how I see my magic. I sort of take what's already there and use it to my advantage.
I wonder if there's a clawfoot bath here. Completely disregarding what you just said.
Colt also completely disregarded his really nice metaphor. And he just sort of gets up and sort of ding 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 ding.
Should we look for one if there is one? I feel like Nagaheim would have like a really nice.
I'm already looking.
I'm gonna be looking with you.
2 bathrooms on either side to match. So it'd be a room, a bathroom, and a room.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go through the ear and be like, Colt, I found one.
Yeah, everybody who's sleeping can hear it.
Do you keep your earring on?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Colt's like, pokes his head out of the doorway and just like, I found one. How about you go first? You go first. I'll go I'll still keep watch, and then we'll swap seas, and then I'll go to bed.
Okay.
Okay.
So I go and I'm gonna take some tea from the kitchen and put it in the bath.
There's
In the bath?
already
Okay.
some lavender and peppermint tea in the bathrooms.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna sprinkle and be like, this is tea for the bathtub. And then,
I'm the teabag now.
yeah.
Amazing. So,
Yep.
as Rose is having her soak, Colt, I'll get you to make a perception check, please.
I am not proficient in it. I haven't utilized my ghosty powers, so.
19.
Oh, but 19's a good one.
So you notice the same thing that Rose discovered about the place, where the closer you get to the walls, the more transparent it becomes, and the easier it is actually to see outside from this bubble. And it's when you turn around, you just catch in the corner of your eye Vernid, who it looks to be uncomfortably bunched up on the fanciful couch, is just kind of there and just kind of side-eyeing you, but pretending like he didn't side-eye you, and just kind of looking at the floor, trying to go to sleep, but this is kind of weird for him, so he's just kind of there, Doesn't really know what to do or anything.
You sort of goes over and just sort of kneels down, takes a knee. He's like, Verned, if you want, take my bedroom.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm completely comfortable.
You don't seem comfortable.
I'm not comfortable.
Okay, yeah, go to my bedroom. I'm happy sleeping on the couch.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you go for it, buddy.
There's 4 rooms and Nagheim's in the rocking chair.
Oh shit, that's right.
So
Doesn't matter.
as you say that, Viria, make a perception check.
Seven.
You see a complete stranger that you have never met before walk into your room and is standing in the doorway.
What the fuck?
Oh shit, I'm so sorry, ma'am.
Closes the door and runs away. Goes back into the living room, goes back onto the couch, curls up.
I don't think I should go into the bedrooms anymore.
Did you wake Barry up? That's a terrifying experience.
She's very scary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You don't fuck with her.
I
Seriously.
wasn't going to. I never. The thought never crossed my mind.
Yeah, so you went into the right, not the left one.
I went into the wrong.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're fine out here, that's cool. There's,
Okay. Good night.
And then you see him kind of face the couch so that he's not looking anywhere now.
That's like pulling the drapes and when you're with a bunch of friends in the living room, is you're just like, okay, I'm gonna face away from you now. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't draw dicks on my face.
All right, but soon enough, this half of the evening's watch comes to a close. Nagheim, was Viria joining?
I'll wake her up in the
I
second
would-
half.
Thank
yeah,
you.
I would join them for the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this first couple of hours, Nagheim, make a perception check, please.
Okay.
We've had our baths.
Sorry, I didn't let you roleplay the tea bathing there, Cult. Sorry about that.
La
Is it
la
not
la
rolling?
la la la.
There it is.
La la la.
Ah, 16.
Perfect. All right, so far, nothing to report. And eventually, Viri does wake up to join you.
I had the weirdest dream that some sort of fur-covered creature was walking into my room. Might have been a sleep paralysis demon.
I think you just might have been very tired.
Yeah, I don't know. How are you?
Very relaxed. Which is weird, because it's been a long time since I felt this way. Tea?
Sure, why not? I'll have some of your leaf juice.
I have some peppermint tea brewing just to help give us some energy.
Alright, I'll try it. I trust you.
I forgot to mention it, but the others seem to have found it. You could also have a bath.
Oh, shit. I mean, the whole point of this was for me to keep you company, so...
You could take a quick bath before if you wish. I already did.
Maybe. Okay. I mean, if everyone's gonna take a fucking bath, then, might as well.
I mean, who knows when this will happen again, you know?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's very true. Alright, give me half an hour, I'll be back.
Perfect. I'll make sure that Verdant is has a blanket over him and is trying to make it as comfortable as possible, but still being there's an empty room. Why didn't you?
Viria stops next to wherever Vernon's sleeping and just goes huh. Sleep paralysis demon kind of looked like him. Just continue.
Nagheim, as you put the blanket over top of Vernid, you see him do that little puppy dog kick with his one leg. But he's still passed out.
Poor guy.
Now, Nagheim, you're pretty good with keeping track of time, yes?
Yes.
Viri said she was going to be 30 minutes, but she took 54 minutes.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, tub was really fucking big. Took a really long time to fill it up.
Yeah, living in the hut with the enchantress, we were very limited in space.
Yeah, I
So.
can see you really like your fancy baths. You took after Cult, didn't you?
After seeing them, I realized that, wow, you could actually have space.
Yeah. No, it was actually pretty comfortable. Most baths, I kind of like have to fold my legs because like they're tall.
Yeah, I was trying to keep everyone in mind.
Hmm.
Every time I think of this place, I always try to add a little extra thing. Like, over by this windowsill, I have a little crystallized... There's like a little ornament of a crystallized dragon. An ornament of an owl bear feather. And one of the figures from Cult's room that Nagheim had swiped one day and sent Albert in through the window when everyone was out training, and Nagheim was left alone. They decided, I'm gonna take something, and Hesman.
I'm curious to know which one they got.
Me too.
I sent a bird in to swipe one, so
That's
who
awesome.
knows? And they're just... But where the light comes in, it hits the crystal parts where they light up a little bit, and they also reflect off the figure, so it's like all three of them are under a little spotlight.
See, there's the thoughtfulness. I know you have. You know, the sarcasm doesn't suit you, but this is typical Nagheim.
Yeah. I thought maybe I would try to branch out, but sarcasm really... It is very hard.
I understand that, and I know the other two do as well.
It seems so easy when you do it, when Cult does it. So I thought, I have a grasp on languages, I can do this.
Well, you know me, I'm an asshole. My own fucking dragon patron says the same, so...
Yeah, but you're a lovable asshole.
Thanks, you're not too bad yourself.
Megheim's gonna hand over a mug of tea, or a little mug, and the handle is actually formed to have room for a claw.
My heart. Wow,
Oh, that's
thought of
cool.
everything. Yeah, she will actually grab it with her clawed hand.
And Nagheim will just kind of glance over at a shelf and be like, there's a really ornate mug, and then one with just that's still really pretty. It's very simple, but all along it has the designs of leaves and vines, and it's a little smaller for maybe somebody with a bit of a smaller hand.
It's got the alphabet on it.
It does now.
On the inside rim, so that when you drink more, you get more of the alphabet revealed.
As Very thinks of it, she just notices the alphabet starting to get engraved into it.
Like those mugs that, like, when you pour hot water, like a design.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one.
I love it.
Rose would like that. There you go.
She will be enamored with that. That's awesome.
Like I said, I've thought of making it to make sure that no matter where we go, we all have a connection to each other, and I was thinking of keeping here as the central point, since it will be where my arcane abilities are their strongest. So I wanted to make sure that every time people visit, or especially you three, you never feel away from home.
And she just, again, like, puts her arm around you and gives you kind of like a little half hug at that.
I know I'm sappy. It's kind of gross.
I mean, yeah. But also, it's a good sappy, and that's the Nagheim I've grown to. Can't believe I'm saying this. Care for.
There's a bucket over there. Just aim for the bucket.
I'm not really throwing out Nagaheim. Your tea's delicious. Don't worry.
Oh, I know the tea is delicious. I made it perfectly.
It's just...
Does it say Viria's feelings bucket?
It's just, it's a little note in case Viria feels. But you should probably start getting your armor on. I'll start waking everyone up.
Yeah, Bubble's going down soon. Well, call it Bubble. It's not really a bubble at this point, but
For now.
same difference.
And I'll go and wake everyone up with a mug of tea, a peppermint tea, but the mug for each person.
Don't clip my toenails.
Let's call
Good morning.
I will make sure I have a nail clipper next time. Here,
What?
tea,
I
to
don't.
wake up.
Tea. Cool.
It's time to start putting up your clothes on.
Yep.
And I will leave. But this one does smell so much different than what you had.
I'm just wondering, what does Cult's mug look like?
It is very ornate with a few little gems along the handle. It is a royal blue, and the bottom of it is a soft velvet to help keep it warmer, because Cult definitely does not know how to hold a tea mug properly. So to make sure that if he puts it down on anything, like not a coaster or on his hand, it's not gonna get too hot.
He just balances it like a rogue would.
And yeah.
Clearly,
And there-
Nagheim went to a Michael's before making this place.
But also there is an outline along it of just the Cultivarius family. Just like a little line drawing. Just the outlines. And then one that at first you're like, what are these scribbles? And then you're like, oh, those are that's just messy curly hair.
Oh, my little heart.
And then yeah, Nagheim will go to wake up Rose, and with the same tea, but in her mug. It's,
Thank you.
of course.
And she
I-
one-shots it. Oh, this is
Okay.
cozy.
Are you okay? That was hot
Yeah.
tea. Okay.
This is Rose.
Nagheim's heart's shattering a little bit. But yeah, it's time to get ready for the bubble to drop.
Rose just opens the covers and she's just like, awesome! And then she gets dressed.
Oh,
She's not naked,
Okay.
she's just in underwear.
and I'll wake up Verdant.
This girl's gone wild in the tub as well. The tub.
Apparently.
I can't talk.
But yeah, Nagheim will wake up Verdant at the end with just a regular, like, classic wooden mug. Like a guest one. With tea in it as well. Good morning. It's time for you to... Verdant,
Yeah,
time to put your clothes on.
I'm
Fully.
clothed.
Well, your gear. Like your shoes and everything.
I kept my shoes on. Is that a bad thing? I'm a little self-conscious.
Have some tea.
I have a snaggle toe. Okay, thank you. Hmm.
We have about 55 minutes-ish before
I
that.
taste juniper. Is there juniper in this?
If that's what you were hoping for.
I'm partial to chai, but that's okay.
You were partial to tea. Hurts my soul. But yeah, anybody too, when you take a sip of the tea, if there was any type of flavor you were hoping for, there's a hint of that in it.
Maple bourbon.
Yum. Burnt toast.
Coffee.
Sangria?
Whatever your heart desires.
There you go. All
That
right.
explains why Rose chucked it.
Hells yeah. All right. But eventually, everybody comes out all dressed for the winter adventure ahead. Is there anything anybody need to do before you leave?
Do we have enough rations?
Yes.
Yeah, we did pack enough for the entire trip into account for all of us.
Yeah, I can't remember if it happened during the session you were here, Fred, or if it happened last session, but we did math it out as to how many rations you would need for this trip.
It was when Fred was here.
We
Okay,
yeah,
It was before the boat.
Oh, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just checking in on what we have left.
we still have 47 days worth.
There you go.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
During the Watch 2, Nightheim would have created another scroll.
Okay.
And Colt, I mean, in this wasteland, it's doubtful he'll find a ghosty ghost, to get a proficiency.
Is that a you're not trying, or are you trying?
I am trying,
I mean-
I'm trying, but
depending on how
I
you
always
think of it,
defer. Yeah.
Nightheim always has the ghost of their past in them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Colt's gonna look for maybe a ghost of an animal that has perished here, to maybe lend him their perceptive eyes or their survival in the wilderness.
Oh, we could just kill Vernon.
You
He's
won't be
thinking in his
talking.
head.
Fair enough. An animal, huh? Okay. Okay. A polar bear appears and just boops you.
Colt's bowels loosen just a little bit because it's still a fucking polar bear.
Yeah. And that gives you what?
I was gonna ask for perception or survival.
Sure. Your choice.
Let's go perception.
Great. Roll a d100.
Oh yeah, baby. Do-do-do.
Even with that. Oh.
Okay, come here, you. I become proficient in everything, or I lose all my proficiencies. That's a 97.
So, when the polar bear boops you, you feel, at first you feel like you want to shit your pants. But somehow there is a wave of confidence that it is instilled in you. You now look upon this frozen wasteland and feel a determination that this is not the worst thing you've ever encountered. You'll get through this. And now you are proficient in 3 things of your choice.
Fuck yeah. Okay, perceptions. We're gonna do survival. And let's go.
I'll say this,
with-
if you're already proficient in something that you would want, you can make it expertise
I've got expertise
in intimidation and stealth
and intimidation
and
Right,
acrobatics.
you know what? I'm gonna go with athletics. I'm gonna go with the big,
Sure.
strong survival bear thing.
Cool.
Okay,
So that's that.
very cool. Beautiful. Okay, I've got that written down.
Anybody else?
Nightheim's just gonna be taking like a complete mental picture of everything in the hut, like not forgetting it, just to keep that little hope alive, you know?
You bet. I do know. All right. Rose, Vera? Yep.
Various, yeah, just mostly taking the time to gear back up. Not really doing anything in particular than that.
Okay. Rose?
Rose has made a quick adventure breakfast: powdered eggs, bacon, coffee, minty to chug.
Cool.
And yeah.
All right.
And cucumber sandwiches for the road.
Hells yes. All right. With that, you all exit the bubble for your second day of travel. And I'll say this. As you get about 100, 200 feet away from the bubble, Nagheim, you look back. The bubble's still there.
As we're walking, Nagheim's gonna see if like they have a connection to it.
In what way?
In a way of trying to pull it
Oh,
with them.
no.
Aw.
It just drags behind you like this big unwieldy snow globe.
You never know. Well, it looks like we may have a place to stay on the way back.
That's incredible.
But what happens if you put it up again somewhere else? Would this one vanish?
We shall see.
Okay.
But what's also nice is no one else can go inside but us and Vernon.
Oh, even when no one's in there, it'll just...
It's when the spell is created, I get to pick who goes in and who does not.
Oh, well that's really practical.
I'm already cold.
Let's get
you
moving.
are. That you are.
I'll lead the way.
Uh-huh. It's about mid-afternoon before you finally arrive at the open expanse that Vernid was mentioning at the start of this trek. A wide open field of white snow with only a few black pockmarks along the ground where jagged bits of obsidian have cropped out, possibly from centuries of the island shifting beneath the ice. If there are any creatures about looking for food or fight, you would have very few opportunities to remain hidden crossing this length of your journey. But for some of you, the dangerous path ahead is second only to the image of the curved spires you saw yesterday in the distance. Now, being closer to these massive structures, you can see that what at first looked to be the remains of some titanic creature. From the proper angle, it looks as though something massive punched a hole through the entire mountain range. The slopes to the north and south remain unchanged, but there's no denying that something eroded the center of these peaks. Wherever and whatever force exploded or impacted here, that is your destination. And I would like everybody to make a stealth check.
I also really need the name of this track because, like,
I
It's
dig it
pretty
so
fucking
hard.
great.
I fucking groove to it every time it comes on.
I'm going to bless myself.
I'm going to bless Viria. Or not bless, I'm gonna
That's
give
a good-
Viria
thank
guidance.
you, because I
I'm
might
going
need it.
to use
Yeah,
my
guidance.
inspiration.
15. It's not too bad.
And
Oh.
do I roll for guidance? Percent?
Yes, both of you.
I rolled
Okay.
a 45.
45? Okay.
91.
Oh,
So
only you do. Okay.
you rolled. Okay, hang on. Too
Yeah.
many beeps, too many things. Holy shit, stop. Okay, I'm not gonna look at that yet. So, I heard the word bless and guidance. What is going on?
Well, I'm guiding myself, but I said bless because it's
Got it.
I fucked up.
Not a worries. Okay, so Cult, you said it was a 41?
No, I was
Nagheim.
45.
Thank you. And Cult was a...
91.
Okay. So, Nagheim. You feel the guidance kind of work over you. But when you tap into yourself to rely on it for giving yourself a bit of inspiration for the stealth check, you don't feel it as potent as it usually is. So without looking, whatever your guidance roll was, half rounded down.
I didn't roll guidance, so I'll
No
do
worries,
that
no worries.
now.
But the crazy thing is that once you don't feel the presence there, boom, here comes Cult, and everybody gets guidance,
Hey!
including Vernid. Oh, because we love Vernid. Oh, yay. Max.
That's amazing.
Excellent. All right.
Roll a
thank-
1.
Oh,
A guidance,
Oh
so
my
well, it's better than a 0.5 to my score, you know?
This is
Very
true, but that's
good.
just once with cults as well. Yeah.
Oh. 2!
Hey!
I got a 34 then.
Okay.
Altogether.
So I'm looking at
And
Rose. I heard you
G-
used inspiration. Is that correct?
Correct. So my roll
Okay.
is 23.
Right on.
20.
Right on. So I'll say you don't even need the guidance at that point. Nagheim, you're a 13. Cult is a 30 plus what? Cult?
No, I'm
4.
4. Okay.
Would I be 14 because it was the 2 on top of each other? Because I rolled a 1 for mine, or does Cult
It's like
override
one
it?
over the other. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because rolling a 1, half that, you got a 0.
I got a 0.5, thank you.
Your god really said not today, bitch. Viri, you rolled a 3. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a 15 total.
Awesome. 15. Totally good. All right. Excellent. Well, before long, you guys do make it to the edge of the mountains that you see displayed on Roll20 there. And walking beneath the peaks of these hollowed mountains, you can see massive shards of ice dangling precariously overhead as you walk within the vast shadows covering the interior floor. You look to the sky where the sun is now blotted out, and along the borders of the mountain's edges, icicles seem to protrude horizontally, pointing towards the west, as if they were pointing you towards your destination. And anyone who would like to can make an investigation check.
It's like this was a mountain range and something punched through it.
Yeah. Why is mine taking so long to go through?
15. I think that was like that's like the highest investigation check I ever fucking rolled.
That's awesome.
22.
Holy
Oh,
fuck.
Perfect.
Really good.
Nagheim, if you want, maybe close Roll20 and then boot it back up again. Maybe it'll help you. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. We'll stay. Hi. So, so as you all kind of look at this curious kind of formation, looking to the base, where the closest of these strange icicles are, you can see that it's not made from frozen water, but of stone. Unlike the frozen icicles near the interior's tip that point down towards the floor beneath you, these protrusions must have been created by an incredible source of heat. What is left behind is not unlike the drippings from molten slag in a blacksmith's shop.
Then,
shit.
do you know anything about this phenomenon we're seeing right here?
Maybe. How good are you all at keeping secrets?
Amazing at this.
It's very good.
I literally worship the goddess of secrets.
That'll do. Well, you know, when you're kind of bored back at home, you do kind of venture out on your own, and sometimes you go to some places where you're not supposed to be. So the youngings are not supposed to be in this area to begin with, and technically this is, wink wink, my first time coming here. But yeah, I've seen this before. I don't know why it's like this, but yeah, that's par for the course.
So there are other mountain ranges like this, or is
No, this is the only one.
wonder if it's was an act of gods, arrogance of people, or wrath of nature.
Wow, that's deep.
All those are all good options.
I mean, isn't this some kind of like centralized place for like the calamity or something?
Would I have read anything like this
Yeah.
phenomena in my schooling, Nagheim and I?
I would make you make a history check, but I don't think so. Not this particular phenomena.
If it's not in a book, then we wouldn't have read it.
Not really. Like, this seems
Yeah.
like just
Fair.
very odd. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to have like natural phenomena of nature where like tectonic plates shift and then you find trees beneath like layers of the earth kind of thing. And you're like, how the fuck did that get there? But something like this seems kind of unnatural on a whole other level, you know? Like crop circles,
Like,
for
yeah.
lack of a better comparison. I'm sorry.
Like,
Discounted, by the way.
Yeah.
I do want to just double check, like, would Nagheim have learned, like, in the past this was, like, the type of, like, arcane area, like, place? Or, like,
Ooh.
like the very loose history that, like, some people might, like, those who would be, like, nerds might learn?
The
for
only
fun,
thing
but-
you guys really know about this entire region, up until you met this clan, you thought inhospitable.
Yeah.
You know, like the furthest north of Canada, just like maybe there's bears up there, I don't know. But as to like history or anything, you knew at one time there was a presence here.
Okay.
If there was significant historical things, a lot of it lost to time or just not really talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure me saying, like, it was, like, arrogance of man wasn't, like, me pulling from, like, you know, like, out of games information or anything. You
Oh,
know?
I get you.
I wanted to make sure it's like I might have heard that there was either people did live or maybe lived up here at one point.
Yeah, you got like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
Same for the calamity stuff, like, because calamity is like pretty common knowledge, right?
it is, but it's like parts of history where you just kind of go, and there was a calamity. Oh, tell me about that. I don't know, fucking know. It was a calamity. You know?
Something happened.
Yeah.
You know, like the
Yeah.
Big Bang.
Yeah. So, and it is one of those things that it's almost like an afterthought a lot of the time, where people discuss history and they always talk about the things that are current or that are related or that, you know, there are still ramifications or reverberations from that in present day. And it seems like this stopped and people were like, all right, let's move on. Much like the shattered teeth.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it is. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like, yeah, I can say that like it could be people because there was potentially people here.
Sure.
Cool.
And I'll even do you a solid there. Seeing how the magic is being affected as well, you're kind of doing your own little guesswork as to like something probably happened here, and yeah. So
Perfect.
you're solid. Yeah,
Love that. Thank you.
you bet. All right. Anybody else? Oh, we got the Mass Effect track.
Yeah. Nagheim will specifically be looking like anytime there's like icicles or like chunks of ice jetting out that could potentially be pointing towards the ground. Nagheim would be trying to pay extra close attention to those as we walk underneath, just in case like there's weird movements by them or anything like that.
Okay.
But
So-
other than that, Nagheim's like quietly walking.
yeah, I'll get you to make a perception check then.
Don't.
If I see that Nagaheim is looking out for something, can I start looking out too? Be
Sure.
like,
I'll get you to make
what are we
one too.
looking for?
Okay, maybe it's D&D Beyond, because I roll. And it's not even rolling
Oh,
on
we
D&D
got it.
Beyond.
25? Was that right?
Yes, 25.
And Rose, you're a 9?
Yeah,
Oh my, how the
exact,
tables
because
have
I don't know
turned.
what I'm looking for.
That's cool. That's cool.
Look, I do have the higher perception.
Oh my god, the planets have aligned.
About that
So-
time.
As you're traveling beneath these mountain peaks, you don't notice anything lurking anywhere. It's a blessing when you guys do find yourself like within the shadow of one of these spires, because it's blocking out a little bit of the wind. But after about an hour or so of walking, you're in between peaks all of a sudden. In between the ribs, as you know, you might think. Rose, you're trying to look around, but on occasion you're just kind of enamored with yourself that coming from a very hot environment, you are doing incredibly well in this freezing cold temperature. So you're like, yeah, good on me.
And I'm gonna say it out loud to my friends. And be like, I just want to say, like, I come from the jungle and I'm doing really well. Like, this is not too bad of a climate.
Neckheim's like
You know?
shivering.
I feel very
people
confident
living
as
here.
well.
I could see people living here comfortably.
Yeah, you just get a really nice coat and
Well, here's
you
the
know.
thing with cold weather is that you can just add layers, whereas with hot fucking weather, like you're freaking hell of a jungle, you can't take off your skin, right?
Is that why you're naked a lot of the time, Rose?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just a point of fact. People do live here quite comfortably. Thank you.
Oh, I mean, like
That's
on
what I
the
was
surface. But yeah, I didn't want to discount that you were indeed the population of this area. But I meant like here up on the surface. But I mean, not to say what you're doing isn't. I was like,
Or cult, you're rambling.
I'm
you're rambling.
Yeah, foot and mouth.
Also, this is
Just get it!
cold, and you're all lying. This is miserable. All of you are lying. Keep lying to yourselves, but this is awful.
Awesome.
I'm not lying. Do you want my
If-
coat? I'm comfortable.
I will take everything extra right now.
I would take out my cloak out of my bag. I'm not wearing it since I'm wearing the coat, so hand it over to Nagaheim.
That guy takes like everyone's extras and just piles them on just to be like a little walking tent of
Grimace.
clothing. Very that.
All right. So,
It's just the reason why Rose is so comfortable saying like I'm not cold. What is cold? Is because she has resistance to cold.
there you go.
There you go.
Amazing. After another hour or two of travel, time being so hard to keep track of throughout this miserable expedition, you can see just ahead that the ground begins to split and a great chasm extends out and away to the very edge of your vision.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our intended destination. You okay there, Fred? Okay. I just
Yeah,
saw this
I'm
all
good.
blotted out. I'm like, oh,
Oh no, I'm good.
you're okay? Okay. Now,
All right.
what you are all looking for is found deep within this crevice you see before me. Respectfully, I will not be joining you down below. There are some secrets that even I do not wish to know. Now, as you enter the crack, I would suggest that you do so slowly, as there are many spots where you could injure yourself. Communication is key, so it's best to have a safety word between you all should you encounter some obstructions. Now keep a firm grip and try to relax as you slide on in, and you will know when you're at the proper depth to start exploring around. Good luck, explorers. I'll be here when you return.
We did that on purpose.
I know.
I
you all-
did.
I know
Hate
that
you.
like everything was supposed to be sexual innuendos, but all I could picture was from Finding Nemo when Squirt was telling everybody how to get out of the water, being like, "Do you have your exit buddy?" I literally was just picturing that, and I was like, "This is so wholesome."
It was.
And then I
It,
like clued into what was being said.
it felt like a guide at like a really safe, like park, a nature park. You're
Yes.
going on a tour, and then the sexual innuendo started to creep in, and I just lost my mind.
I just kept the idea that Squirt was like rolling around in the snow, telling us how to do it,
Accurate,
and that helped me
accurate,
out a
for
lot.
sure.
It
But
was
now,
so cute.
good to hear. Good to hear. So, with that, all of you have to decide exactly how you are going to get down into this crack. But we will figure that out when we come back from our break.
Oh, thank you.
The oilet. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to take a quick little bathroom break, and we'll be back here as soon as we can. In the meantime, you're going to see a lot of the emotes that Nicole and Nora made for all our lovely subscribers, and the amazing art by one Chuck Monty over in the corner pocket there. So, we'll
Two
see
of
you
the
when we
most
get back.
talented artists we know.
Yes.
Oh, pshaw.
Oh, pshaw indeed. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, the oddities stand before a large fissure in the ground, and they are informed that their intended destination lies deep within. So, how are you all going to be getting through this area?
I would like to maybe try to use my scroll
Okay.
instead of using a spell slot. And it's polymorph. And I was going to turn myself into
A mammoth.
potentially a giant snowy owl.
Okay.
Oh, like a giant eagle. To see if that could help.
Okay.
I will roll. It would have been like a 4th level spell. So 5th level polymorph, I don't think that does anything different.
I can also make I can make 3 of us fly.
51.
51.
Yes!
Where you guys once saw your very thin, overstuffed friend, now you see this giant snowy owl just...
Various trying to speak like, I could potentially make us fly. I'm just like,
But Vera, did you
Bug-eyed
want to make
looking
everybody
down.
fly as well?
Well, unless Nagaheim is large enough to carry us.
I'll put a wing down for somebody to, like, for Cult to climb up. And then I'll, like, start reaching for, with one of my talons, Rose. And then, like, to put it closer, and I'll nudge my other talon close to Viria. So they can, like, grab on.
Okay.
Oh, they're so soft, you guys.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
No.
We're just hanging here. It's fine.
Oh, but it's a snowy owl, so they've got those little, like, long pants that
I
cover
do.
the feet.
The little long pants to keep it all warm and fuzzy. So you're even extra cozy when you grab onto my leg.
Snowy owls wear bell bottoms.
Okay, that works.
I picked a snowy owl for the reason of extra fluff, because I have extra fluff on me. I would like to try to fly us down.
Okay. Is everybody jumping on Nagheim?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it is such a relief to have even the briefest moment to escape the winds that howl across the frozen fields you've been traveling. As you all slowly descend further into this crevice, your rattled breath slowly relaxes to a smoother inhale and exhale once again. The further down into the depths you travel, every sharp edge and curve that you must traverse in order to keep going, the less the light from above aids you. And eventually, you are left to feeling for handholds in the dark to avoid any nicks or scrapes the further down you travel. And it's about midpoint where I don't believe a giant snow owl will be able to get through. But about, we'll say, 200, 300 feet down, not a problem. But at this point, yeah.
Yeah, as I notice it gets, like, more narrow, I would try to find, like, a ledge where I could let people off and just drop the spell.
I'll even say this. You could have 1 foot on either side, crevice in between, and just have everybody on your back until you figure out what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Use the wall to help let them crawl up. And then just start.
Rope. Gym
Like-
rope climb up.
I have, I should have passed this out earlier, but I've got...
Nighttime's head will turn
Oh.
180 degrees backwards to look at you.
I do have Featherfall bubblegum still. I have 3.
I do too. We got a bunch the last time we went to visit Trixie.
Well, there's 3 in the bag of holding.
Those are the ones that I gave you. Oh, if they're in the bag of holding, I'll get rid of these ones, because I've got one in my wrist pocket.
So I'll say this. Everybody who's considering having the gum,
Oh, wait.
Depending on what your plan is, I'll say make an intelligence check.
Sure.
I already... I had the moment of yes, and then I'm like, wait.
I'm not very smart. That's a 2.
Excellent. That's a 9. Excellent.
I mean, I'll do it just because.
Well, you're still an owl right now, aren't you? Or did you drop it? I didn't hear.
I mean, if we're going down, it'd be that, but would I still be able to communicate through the earring, through everyone's mind?
Oh, this is where polymorph gets a little wonky. I don't think so.
Okay, well, got a 19, so it's fine.
Okay. So
I'll do it for myself.
Remember
you
when
look-
they polymorphed me into a crow? We said no go.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. As you look over to the depths, you all do have dark vision, but even with someone who can see farther than most, you still don't see a bottom. But what you do see are parts of the walls on either side bend and shift and kind of obstruct you. So, if this was the plan, to eat and just fucking tally-ho and jump in, you're probably going to hit the wall before you hit the bottom, and it might be wasted. But if the other plan was to, in case of emergency, chomp, 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 by all means. But I just didn't want you guys thinking you could free fall to the bottom, because it might be a waste of the gum.
All right. I recommend maybe our best. Who's got rope? Because I believe I left my rope on that derelict ship that
We
hunted us.
do have.
I believe there has some.
There's-
Yeah, we put some rope. I gave my rope to the.
There's 50 feet in this bag. And then I
And
guess
have 50
you also.
feet on me.
And I guess you had 50 feet Nightheim.
I think I gave mine to yours because we did use some rope. I don't know if we got it back, but I did put my rope in yours.
So
And
that
while they're
was
planning-
yours then.
Probably.
Yeah.
While we're planning, like I'm still slowly like, okay, they're doing things, and just gonna slowly start moving down to keep the movement walking and talking.
Well, I mean, we could both use a magic to make all of us fly. But we do. There's the risk of magic going haywire. That's
And
for
not
sure.
working as long as we'd like it to, because that bubble is still up
True.
as far as we know. And if the spell is lesser, it might not work as long as we want it to. My idea is to sort of create a almost like a team one. One person goes down, connected with rope. Pittons the rope to. It's an ice cavern, or is
Sort
there
of.
rock as well?
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
We can pitten the rope to, and then that one person helps everyone down, and then we find the next shelf, and then the next shelf, and then the next shelf. And
I'll do it.
I was gonna recommend if anyone's gonna be good at this, it's gonna be Rose.
Well, it's definitely an option.
Keep in mind, you guys are still
I
being
also
moved
have-
around because Nagheim is slowly just lowering everybody.
Well, by now you'd be
I also
like,
have 50 feet
stuck.
of rope on me extra in case we need it.
We have
I'll bring
100.
it with me.
We have 100 total. Shit, we should have gotten more rope. We're stupid.
I had rope. I kind of lost it when we were on the ship thing.
All right. Well, we can go with that plan, and we each take a bubblegum just in case.
Yep, hand him out. I've got one on me.
All right.
already.
I have 3 in this bag. So here's one for Rose, one for Nagheim, and one for myself.
You try to give one to the owl, and Nagheim's gonna be like, head shaking way too much. I have one.
Okay.
But Nagheim's like trying to just say no without, because right now Nagheim is like being your guys' shelf.
Here, you know what? I'll put a second one in my wrist pocket just so it's at hand.
All right,
Cool,
that
cool.
works. So here you go, and I'll take all 3 of them out.
so
Before I forget.
kind of like in mountain climbing fashion. The way I'm picturing it in my head so far, because you have 100 feet of rope between you, 2 lengths of 50 feet of rope, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I
So
believe
probably what'll happen, and you guys correct me if you want to do it a different way, but probably one person will be the anchor at the top. Everyone will climb down the full length of the 50 feet attached to each other. Attach another piton at the midpoint. Another third person will go down with that other 50 feet of rope attached to the bottom. Top one comes to meet 2, 2 and 3 go to meet 1. Repeat the process all the way down.
Pretty
Does that sound
much,
right?
yeah.
So that way, if anybody does slip or fall, you have people pitons and strength checks to help them, and last ditch effort, featherfall bubblegum.
Um,
So since Rose is the strongest of all of any of us, should she stay up top?
Yeah, to hang on to basically be the anchor, the safety anchor, and then
Yeah, and
maybe
you're
I
the
can go down.
yeah, you're the most agile, so
All right, if that works for everyone.
as you're going down to like attach the rope the first time, you would notice Nagheim will take just one talon and kind of loop it around the rope. So when I break, well, not to break, but when I
Bye,
drop,
fuckers.
I'm the big bad. See ya. But yeah,
never any
just so
doubt.
when I drop polymorph, Nagheim's actually holding onto the rope because I don't want to free fall. So just to put it out there, I am holding onto the rope
Oh yeah,
for when I break it, or when I break polymorph on the rope.
they said it.
Yeah,
Their master
Yeah,
plan. It's out there.
I'm the big
All right.
bad.
So, I will get everybody to make. Well, actually, the three of you, I will get you to make. Yeah, this is gonna have to be athletics.
Oh, good. I took proficiency in
Yep, yep,
athletics.
yep.
so the three of us is Colt, me, and Nagheim.
Rose.
Oh, Rose.
Yes.
So
Natural 20.
Shit. No, wait. I have proficiency, so that is a 10, not a 3, and then a +5, so that's a 15.
Excellent. And Viria?
okay, I'm guessing. Okay, I was like, who's the third?
Like,
Who would
Thankfully,
not
not
be
me.
on this list? Let's be honest. And a 12. All right, so 15, natural 20, and a 12. All right. So I will say that because of Rose's natural 20, that is what's going to help Nagheim safely travel down assisted. But that will be the first part of this. More than once, you all reach the end of the line and are forced to detach the rope from above as one of your stronger, more agile companions begins a free solo descent to meet you. Over and over again, you detach the rope that keeps you all from a free fall into the darkness and reattach it once more to continue your journey into the void. And I'll get you to make one more athletics round between the top three there.
I'm gonna guidance myself for
Roll
this one.
D100.
I was gonna say I will try to guidance Viria if possible.
Same thing, D100.
35.
35.
I rolled a 0 on my D10 and a 30, so I guess that's just 30, right? Like I rolled a 30.
Oh, I
and
get
then
you.
Oh wait, no.
I heard
a
that
30 and a
backwards.
9. Oh, it's 39. Never mind. I read it wrong. 39.
Cool,
so-
cool, cool.
So I rolled the guidance in case it works, but
So, who was guiding who again? I'm so sorry.
I was gonna try to guide it Viria.
You're guiding yourself and you're guiding Viria. Got it. All right, so we got Viria's D4. Cult rolls yours. Roll yours. Da-da-da.
Oh, my D4.
Yep.
That is a 3.
3. So, rounded down. Yeah. So each of you get 1.
All right.
So we
I
got-
mean, we'll see. We'll see what I actually roll because I literally cannot get under a 15
Yeah.
for an athletics roll. But I like the safety net.
15
Well,
it is.
it is a 15 technically. It is a 16
Ah.
because of the guidance.
All right. So that will make it. That will make it. Oh, that's Viria. Hold on. Wait, why am I seeing oh, because the 12 was your last roll, correct? Got it.
Yeah.
Great. Everybody makes it then. Upon finally reaching the bottom of this frozen chasm, the ground still padded with snowfall from above. Looking around you, you can see different channels and pathways that lead off into the darkness. Finding the correct pathway to what it is you are supposed to be looking for may be a bit of a challenge. Anyone who is proficient can make an investigation check, please.
Investigations. Oh, fuck yeah. Boom! Natural 20.
All right. Moving past large sections of broken ice and fallen rock, going down one potential pathway, then another, only to find a dead end, leaves you with a sense of futility. Frustration slowly begins to set in before you resign yourself to sit for a moment and clear your head. And like most discoveries, it's when you're not actively searching for something that it makes itself known. Looking down at the ground beside you, brushing aside some of the snow, you see that there is metal hidden underneath. Worked metal. And between the four of you, you set about dusting away much of the snow and debris to see if this metal has shape and, more importantly, direction. Following the length of this large metal plating leads you to yet another wall. But this particular wall seems to have collapsed and been frozen over, unlike the solid walls of rock and earth that surround you. Looking along the length and width of this new barrier, you notice that at the top, there seems to be a small section that is frozen over with icicles that could be cleared away and possibly reveal a path forward. What do you all do? As Rose mysteriously grows a mustache.
Wow, I didn't think you could grow hair.
It's like a Hulk Hogan one, too.
Oh, wait, it's scarf. Look, check it out. Cool.
You look like Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
I'll take a closer look at the ice.
Mhm.
Is it like opaque ice? Like I can see through there's something beyond?
It's like teeth.
Oh, okay. I sort of like I'll handle them and see how brittle they are, how tough they are.
Okay, make a athletics check to get up there.
Ooh.
Viri?
Yeah, so this is very obviously some kind of passage, correct?
Yes and no. I mean, if you weren't looking for it specifically, you probably wouldn't see it. It looks more like a cave-in than a pathway. And it's just been frozen over with like the ice and snow and sleet. But it's when you look up that you see a potential like little, like a die-hard vent, you know, that you can kind of crawl through up above. It's kind of like, well, let's see what
Okay.
this happens. What did you
Still not
do?
a Christmas movie.
14.
14? Easy enough. With the pittons and everything, you get up there. Easy. What?
Oh.
You said like a diehard movie.
Yeah, Nagheim
A
is.
diehard band, and I said, still not a Christmas movie.
Oh,
Yeah, and I went,
I just saw the evil eyes of Cult. I'm like, what? You succeeded! Stop looking at me like that. So you do get up there, and you break away some of the ice. Tell everybody, you know, look out below as you kind of drop them behind you. But you do see there's a bit of a crawl space that you can maybe manage through.
I think I can wiggle through this little area, see what lays beyond. If I don't come back in a minute, maybe someone come after me.
yeah,
give me
sure.
Give me about 3 minutes. I'll let
Sorry,
you know
I'm-
if I'm stuck or
Ugh.
not.
Nose is dripping. It's all the cold.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, the ice teeth are still the icicles. Ice teeth, because that's a word. I live in the north. They're still obstructing my way. Do I have to break through them?
Well, that's what the check was for, to get up there and break them
Oh.
off. So yeah,
Oh, I see. I thought it was just to get up there.
yeah. So kind of
Okie
like the crack in the earth that you kind of came down already. This one is a bit of a squeeze, but eventually you do drop down to the other side of this barrier that was kind of in front of you guys. And it doesn't. Thankfully, it doesn't take more than 3 minutes. It's like maybe a minute to get to the other side.
Up the other side. This is what I see.
You see
What do I see?
more of the same.
Do I see a way that I can get them through elsewhere?
Oh,
Or do they have to go through the vent?
Up and over. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
is this,
you guys are gonna have to go through that vent.
is this even what we're looking for?
It's kind of like the only direction right now that I can find. I mean, we can look around those pathways, but they don't seem to lead to anywhere.
We might as well try it.
Yeah, I mean, might
I
as well
have
stick together, but
Extra incense as well, where I can leave markers and light them, so we can kind of follow the trail back if we need to.
Ooh, and if they've gone out, we follow our nose.
It always
Ah.
knows.
or just the burnt piece of wood.
The wood,
Yes.
but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Better clean up.
I'll go first, so that way you guys can help me up, if that's okay. Cool.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'll
I'm
I'll
right
head up
behind
after
you.
Colt.
Yeah.
All right. So, one by one, everybody kind of heads up. It's a little easier once somebody has done it before you, that you don't have to make the skill checks. It's a brave thing to do it first, though. Way to go, Cult. And as you all reach the other side, for the next couple of hours, traversing this subterranean space holds much of the same. Following little hints of unnatural findings that lead off to another barrier, another hidden pathway, another obstacle to overcome. The repetition and puzzlement of it all begins to sow the seeds of doubt within you all. Not only about the correct path to approach, but the futility of why you are here in the first place. Until you come to the twisted frame of something that should not be. Sitting before you, even in its dilapidated form, is clearly a doorway. Its metallic barrier peeled away to reveal the dark interior beyond. What do you all do?
Well,
Well, this is ominous.
Anyone got the key for that?
let's
Oh,
just
wait.
try it first.
Did he say it was open? I thought you said,
Wow.
yeah, it's open.
Imagine two metal gymnasium doors that have been crushed and left open.
I mean, what are the odds that there are more of these here?
I'd like to peek in.
Sure.
I'll just.
Peek in or step in?
I'll kind of like poke my head in
Okay.
to see if I. And if I can't see anything, then I guess I'd have to step in.
You see a slight hallway that leads off from the doorway.
There's a hallway. Like an
Do you-
actual hallway, not just. I'm assuming not just of ice, but like an actual like building hallway.
Correct.
Yeah, an interior.
Like a man-made hallway, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, weird.
This is. I'm gonna just slowly start. Like,
Maybe we
curiosity
should-
has
can I,
really.
Can I
drawn
wait?
me
Can
in.
I grab them by the collar before they move in? And-
I'm like they're a cat.
Make an unarmed
Come here,
attack.
Or
You're not going to roll
grapple.
damage, don't worry.
That one.
The power of the curious mind
Strangely enough, Viri, your dragon claw hand that you extend out is frozen due to the weather. Oh no! How weird! It's like ice dragon.
I have
Called-
inspiration.
Oh, go for
Nekheim isn't
it!
walking in far.
No, please-
Nekheim's
please
just
don't blow it on
stepping
that.
in to just
But
look.
as I whiff it, I'm also in the same movement just gonna pull out my wand of secrets,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna point it at the hallway, and it'll reveal if there's any traps here.
Okay, roll a
for
D100.
us. Okay. I mean, it's okay. Cool. If a secret door or trap is within 30 feet of me,
Magic is what magic is.
60. What is that? 3.
Yep, goes off without a problem. Nothing is lighting up like a trap or a secret.
Okay. Well, it's not pointing to anything, so don't think. At least these first 30 feet aren't trapped.
Oh, that's very good. Nekheim, how you doing in there?
Oh,
You
it's
want
only
some
30
company?
feet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's... We're gonna have to amp that up next campaign. That seems kind
Ah.
of shitty.
If you would look
I mean,
in,
it is like I've had this item since the very beginning of the
Oh, I
campaign.
know,
Like, this
but-
was like, yeah.
For a wand of secrets, it's like... It's
It
kind of
do be
small
like that,
range,
yeah.
man. Oh,
Mm.
it's all good.
yeah, if you look in, Nekheim is actively taking notes, but it's mostly just like the direction, like our directions. Like it isn't like secret tunnel found this way. It's like just
Secret tunnel.
secret tunnel
Tunnel.
through the mountain. But yeah,
Literally.
it is just like Nekheim is just writing down like all of the directions. So it's not like, oh, we traveled this far and did this. It's more like, as we descended, we did this. This is how we got down. This is what we've done. And it's
We
just
were
writing everything.
facing due north at this point.
Exactly. So that
For
way,
sure.
if, like, we can always go back. But
Uh,
Nekheim's also like a kid in the candy shop, like wide eye, like.
It's a
this is
wall.
Colt's
This is
going
a
to
hallway.
Yeah.
carefully step up and put their hand on Nekheim's back and just sort of look over their shoulder at what they're writing and kind of nod. And Nekheim, this is all, he's going to go through the earring so it stays quiet. If you want to walk with me, you can see further than I can. So if we still want to... oh, sorry, was that in the earring?
It was in my ear, like my actual ear. But thank you.
You're very welcome. It's like a sign of love. If we want to just move slowly forward, but try to stay quiet, I'll try not to belch, you know. And it was all that tea makes you belch, and we'll just take it a little bit at a time. Rose,
Nagaheim,
Miriam?
how far can you see to darkness?
I think it's like 100 and. Oh wait, what is it? It's a lot.
it's double, like 120. Because I can
let me see
I can see
features.
60.
Racial traits. 120 feet.
Okay, I also have 120, so that's why I'm
Mm.
asking.
But yeah, Colt. One thing you would notice though is as Nekheim's writing stuff, and this is near the end of Nekheim's book, the ink slowly starts to turn invisible.
Ooh.
Because I can write it any way I want due to my quill with my book. But
Fancy
you would
ink.
also kind of understand that this is a secret about secrets.
No evidence. It's very clever.
So Nekheim is writing backwards in their book, inwards, but it's all as the ink appears and you kind of see it drawn out, it then immediately starts becoming blank again.
Oh, very interesting.
But it's also still not like we've done this travel this direction. It is
Yeah.
just about our path here. Like Nekheim is still keeping a secret of the area. This is also like if somebody were to take this book, they can't find a way out.
Hmm.
Like Nagheim's not being that sketchy. It might look it, but like it is like directions on how to get the fuck out.
For sure. Viri, you can see as far as Nagheim. Maybe I'll get if you want to go up front with them, and then if you guys see something suspect, call me forward. I'll have a little check out.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
And,
two pairs of eyes are better than one. Even
Yeah.
if Nagheim is generally more perceptive than I am.
And then Rose can make sure our back is protected.
I'll always make sure your derriere is covered.
I mean, we wouldn't want anything to happen to it.
Yeah.
It is the pride of Stingorn.
Is it though?
Well, no, that's actually what people say about my brother, but
That's true. I mean,
Oh.
Oh?
And there is
So
a long
120
pause.
feet.
all three.
120 feet ahead. Let's go.
All three of them just give Nagheim a very knowing look, but
But Nagheim's like, just says like that's true. It still just looks forward, like trying to see anything, like regular normal comment.
Mhm.
All
I'll
the
move
eyebrows
I'll
go
move in
up.
front. Yeah, I'll move in front with Nagheim.
I hope
And
no one
we
does
go.
anything surprising, because I can't be more surprised right now.
So yeah,
So,
Nagheim and Viria will take the lead.
okay.
Hmm.
As you cautiously walk this hall, the dark open end of the opposite side beckons you forward. And it's when you get your first glance beyond that space that you realize your friends are going to want to see this too.
Oh shit. All right. It's interesting. We should keep moving.
Are you calling them up or not?
Well, they're still behind us.
Yeah, we're just.
Yeah, they were.
Like,
I don't
walking
think
with
they're
us.
that far behind.
I thought you guys were
we're-
scouting ahead.
Oh
Maybe
no
that's
no
my
no! We're
misunderstanding.
just
We're
in
still,
front
we're
because
still
we
in
have
a
better
tight
vision.
formation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you. Stepping into this new space, you can see an open circular room where its ceiling has been broken and warped with time, and the weight of the earth above it now pierce through. The walls show dented metal, broken glass, and cracked ceramics, while scattered about the floor are assorted furnishings. Desks, chairs, basins, with a fine frost covering them all. Even though there are a few places where the ice is built up substantially, unlike the landscape above, within this space, most of the freezing cold has been kept at bay. Near the center of the room, you can see a broken circular section where a number of tools and instruments are scattered about. Things as simple as a small set of tongs or pliers to some mysterious metallic contraption that you wouldn't begin to understand its usefulness, either due to being too foreign or too warped with time. Dangling above this space are numerous vines that seem to loop down, as in the jungle, or hang with severed, frosted tips on their tendrils. Walking around this centerpiece, you notice that there is a section of the floor that is broken away to a lower level on the opposite side from where you entered the room, where some of these vines seem to extend from the circular space in the middle and funnel down towards the lower level that you see beneath you. Anyone who wants to can make an investigation check.
Whew, guidance and percentile will be 55.
Crap, I was about to say guidance, but I
You can.
rolled anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing
56,
great.
bitch.
Oh,
Mmm.
saucy. Well,
So 56. Cult, what did you roll for your 100?
55.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
So Cult, you can roll your guidance as well.
4.
4. Okay.
So
So
24.
looking here, we've got Nagheim for a total of 15. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Cult, you are a 24, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Thank you.
I have a pacing pupper.
I am gonna wait
gonna-
until you get back.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna have a delicious pretzel.
I was about to enjoy a cookie, but knowing that I'm gonna be talking for a good long while, that's probably not a good idea.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have a Pepsi instead.
so I'll put this away so I don't like knock it off.
You know, no.
Because-
By all means, go ahead. Go.
And during the break, we discovered that the figure that Nagheim took from swallowing a pretzel from Cult's room is this happy little fellow.
Yeah.
Because I just have these lying around my house.
What are those from?
It's from a Lego
back.
castle that Mark got me for my birthday or for Christmas ages ago, and I built it, meaning to use it in my live D&D game. And there never did a castle come up. Never. I couldn't. I was the DM. I could have written it in, but I never found an opportunity to use it because we did all our games with Lego.
Yeah. Man,
So
oh
yeah, I
man.
got this Lego castle.
There you go.
Mhm.
What was I going to say? I don't know why, but there have been like a number of Lego sets that have been like passing my way either on socials or just like suggestions. I didn't realize there were so many cool Lego sets out there. There's like a couple of like Spider-Man themed ones that I desperately want until I see the price tag.
They are
The
crazy
floral collection is
expensive.
really beautiful.
The which ones?
The floral Lego collection is really.
I don't know that
There's
I've
a
seen any
towel
of those.
staring at us.
Hello,
You've never
Tally.
seen those? Oh, they're so pretty.
Send me all the links, people. Send me them.
Is it?
I know I've
Just like-
seen the Spider-Man ones, and I've seen the Lord of the Rings ones. They did one where it's Rivendell, and oh, it's just gorgeous.
Oh, I bet that one's really beautiful.
Mhm.
We've got a haunted house, and Mark's got a Ghostbusters mobile,
Awesome.
and he's got a ton of them.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really fun. He built a Death Star with our friend.
Sorry. wanted
I want
to
the
prevent
Millennium
a
Falcon
pupper
one.
mess.
He did the Millennium Falcon as well.
Ah,
We don't
fuck
have
you,
it.
Mark.
It's not,
Why
wasn't,
is he
it
so
wasn't
cool?
ours, but he built it. He helped
Amazing.
build it.
All right, back in the
Okay.
zone. So, looking at everybody's investigation scores here. Viri and Rose. You guys search the perimeter, and as you look across the walls around you all, you notice that there is a section that has a checkerboard pattern to it that has now been crushed by the impact of stone from above. They look to almost be little square spaces where you can still see fragments of shattered ceramics and thin metal plating. It's when you step for a closer look inside of them that you hear the crinkling and crackling of something under your foot. Looking down, you see ice shards where you've stepped. But upon closer inspection, you notice that they are not ice, but in fact fragments of glass. Looking deeper within these cubicles and the immediate space around them, you find shattered glass littered within them and without. Nagheim, you start looking at the vines, all of them dangling from above and brushing away the frost that covers them. You notice something odd. They don't seem to have the same texture as a common jungle vine. And considering the landscape that you all descended from, you're pretty sure that you've not seen any trees or vegetation so far on your journey here. Now, it's possible that this particular plant has found some way to survive in this subterranean space. But still, these vines or roots, they don't feel natural. More like woven rope to the touch, but a smoother surface. And it's not until you inspect one of the severed vines that you find something truly odd. Looking at the severed tip, you brush away the frost to look at the insides of these roots and find within the strange interior of the vine, the exterior of the vine. Shit, let me try this again. You look inside the interior of the vine and find inside it assorted metal filaments. Long strands that must run through the entire length of the vine you are holding. Looking above and below, you can see dozens of these metallic vines extending across the ceiling and out from the circular space in the center of the room, finally descending to the lower floors beneath you all. Cult. You look to inspect the desk. As you inspect the surface of this raised circular space, you notice that the center has a recess where a frosted over pyramid-like shape sits in the center with its apex reaching just below your eye level. All along the perimeter, there are a number of sections where tools and mechanisms lay scattered, all of which seem to have been displaced or destroyed during whatever chaos caused this entire space to be so dilapidated. Brushing off the frost from the surface of this space, you reveal what looks to be a sphere of marble that is inlaid halfway into the surface beside a number of symbols surrounding it. And as you try to clear some of the frost around its edges, the sphere becomes dislodged and can now be moved around within its casing. And as you do so, you notice a dull glow briefly flash across some of the symbols inlaid within the table. What do you all do?
Is this the same spear that we've encountered before? Like similar?
Which sphere is it that you're talking about?
Back in the mansion, way back when?
I think like the star map, is that
The
what you
star
mean?
map? Is
Oh.
it similar to that?
The star map, to put it in a real world kind of idea, the star map sphere was about as large as the round table of Arthur.
Oh.
This is like a little, pong ball.
I
It's
was
like
so excited for a
what an
second.
old mouse would be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Before sensors and light technology. Colt instinctively just with one finger just grazes across the surface, letting his fingertip catch it and letting it spin.
Okay. Moving the
Keeping an
ceramic
eye on the
ball.
lights.
Yep. Moving the ceramic ball once again. You wait until the first glow reappears. And as it does, across from you, the tip of the frosted pyramid begins to glow an amber orange color. Make a dexterity save. No, I'm kidding.
Like, I'm good at those.
Before you have a chance to second guess anything you've just done, a projection of light beams outwards towards you. Something akin to an arcane illusion appears just before your face. It looks like a list of text, none of which is legible to you, and some lines of which seem to display lines of static. And hovering just above the text is a blinking little icon of green light. And as you summon equal parts bravery and curiosity, you once again slowly roll the marble ball once again and find that the green light follows the direction that you push and pull the ball in its casting. And when you
I just-
line up the green light with any of the text listed, the static lines flare up in red, while those that still seem to be legible in whatever language they originate in highlight in green.
Nagheim.
Like, I'm just gonna turn around, like
Lit-
5 feet from you. Yeah.
Quite literally, everybody, come look at this.
What'd you find?
And he sort
What's
of
that?
displays how the ball works, and then this sort of holograph sort of screen in front of him. And he is gonna try to put his hand, touch the screen, just to see if it's like physical or like not.
Goes right through.
Oh.
Seeing that I cannot read it,
Or
I-
can they? I can't read it.
Can I read it?
I only read Celestial, Common,
just
Elvish,
can't
Orc,
read.
Undercommon, and Zemnian.
Yeah, I don't
Nope.
know what this is. All right.
So I will open my book
Hey.
and attempt to ritually cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay,
I say attempt because
let's find out.
80
80.
or 800 according to my dice.
800 people. Wait,
80 and a 0.
which one is the 0? The double or the
The
singles?
10.
Oh.
My 10-sided. So
Okay.
I'm assuming that's just 80.
Yes. Because you said 800, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, it is 80 and then 0. That is my
Yes,
dice.
that is 80. Which is probably the best scenario I could have hoped for this situation. Because as you finish this cast, all of a sudden, Cult in Viria, your vision shifts a little bit, as if Nagheim did something to the light itself. Now it just looks like common to all of you. Rose, you still can't read.
Oh.
Wait, what language was I feel like just a moment ago I couldn't read it. Now I can.
Colt looks like very pleased at Nagheim.
I'm just like staring at their book for a moment, like,
Oh, is this your spell? The one you
Oh,
used
yeah.
to. Oh, is that how it feels? This is.
the magic.
Magic be wild.
The magics
Alright.
of this place is.
I'm getting stepped on by a cat right now.
Everybody roll initiative. No.
80.
I was waiting. I was like,
A giant tally.
Yeah.
80 again.
Undead cat from the frozen depths.
Yeah, she's like,
Um,
why are you stepping on me?
All right. So,
that is
Cute.
Crazy. What's it read?
it reads recording and then a series of digits.
What is that? Are they recording like our
Oh.
presence? Like what's
I think it's recording currently. Colt, which way did you
like
move
written
the...
down? I don't see any text being written down as like a record or something.
Which way did you move the ball?
Colt sort of, kind of does what he thinks he did. Oh, and the tip of the pyramid was glowing. That pyramid right there.
It's still glowing.
It's still
Nagheim?
glowing.
We'll try to just roll the ball the opposite way.
It goes to the top of the display.
Maybe this is a way they recorded people, like they kept records of people into their city. There's these vines and they have this weird metallic not wiring. I
Filament.
don't think we filament in it. And maybe that is, if we find where these are connected, we can find information.
Kind of like at the root of a plant? Is that...
Very much
Yeah.
so.
You call them vines, so...
Well, if you look at these, they look like vines, but they're not. They're very much not a living thing. It's almost as if it is like they are maybe a way to transport information or
As much as
something.
I prefer Viria's metaphor of like a tree, I'm thinking like the goo monster, where there's a main part of the goo monster and all the little tendrils
always-
are
yes, it
taking
was always-
information.
Yeah,
Like
all
the
of the
brain?
things, all of the copies she created were connected back to her, right?
Yeah.
Or we could be more practical, use the plant or a brain.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've done this
We-
sort of a couple times.
But let's not blow this one up.
Oh yeah. No, let's try not to.
So
mhm.
what does any of this have to do with the vestiges?
Well, I
We've
was
got-
thinking, sorry, Cult,
No, go for it. Go for it.
if this is recording, if we can follow the route, like so to say, we might be able to find where information is stored, which might give us answers.
So this is all just some kind of big scavenger hunt.
Sort of. Let's have a look
Well,
at the papers with
to-
those drawings on them, just to refamiliarize ourselves with them, and then if we
And-
see anything that looks similar, we take a closer look.
To be fair, Viria, anytime you go out on a search for answers, for research purposes or whatever, it's all just a scavenger hunt like you used to do as a child.
Yeah, it's just I'm very impatient, and usually I as a child, I would, try and skip to the end as fast as I could. So,
Oh, I love
Wow.
scavenger hunts. Like the big, long, complicated ones were the best.
and there's something in Viria's face that just says that, like, probably just wasn't, like, clever or smart enough to, like, solve them.
Nagheim's here like, I didn't get normal scavenger hunts. I got long mathematical equations that I had to figure out at each checkpoint.
Still had the best childhood.
Mhm.
Ah!
So, I'm going to say this. As everyone is kind of deciding to spread out, search around, try and make sense, connect A, B, C to D, X, Y, Z, whatever. Cult, I'm going to ask you to make an intelligence check, please.
Ooh.
Wait, how many lucks do you have?
Huh? Why
Wouldn't
do
you be
need to
fresh?
know?
Because
Yeah.
I'm fresh. I
rest-
have not used any.
Okay.
What is-
I'll
what
keep
is
it
Pokemon?
close. I'll keep it close by. Okay. Okay.
You beat it by 1.
Tight.
As you're all discussing this, you're leaning up against the side of the desk, looking at the ball, just kind of like a toy. And as you do so, you're highlighting back over that red static and then the green text, recording. And upon highlighting the legible text in green, you just tap the marble ball, and you witness a second light splinter off from the pyramid in the center of the room, off just above your left shoulder. And before the rest of you, you see slowly a translucent humanoid figure appears to be standing in front of you all. The image is a bit too blurry to make out any fine details of their face, and occasionally the image becomes distorted or vanishes completely. But they seem to be dressed in some sort of white uniform, tall, with a bit of a hunch in the upper back. And then a voice echoes out all around you.
We have received a seedling entrusted to us by our colleagues from Avalir, from what they refer to as the Tree of Names. We are told that the druids of the Gaudrashari are insistent, putting further protections around this particular specimen, and thus Avalir is reaching out to many of the sister cities in order to secret away samplings to further study and possibly replicate this unique source of arcana. What the potential power that is known thus far is being withheld in order for us to have a baseline to compare to other findings. While I can understand the scientific reasoning behind this, it does feel a bit more secretive than necessary to keep us in the dark. End reporting.
And with that, the figure fizzles out, and the light recedes back to the pyramid. And as you look to this display in front of you, you see that there are 2 more lines of text that read recording that can be highlighted in green.
Nagheim, I hope you're paying attention.
Could anyone understand any of that?
All of you
No.
understood that.
Oh,
No, I meant-
like
I
it's
meant-
in common.
Like, no, not as in like, is it in common? It's just
I'm just
like,
saying that for Rose's
all
benefit,
the-
though, because I want her to know that she completely understood all that,
no,
even though
it's
she
just
can't
all
read
of these
it.
words. It's like, yeah, I understand the words as they're spoken, but like,
To answer that
None of that
I was
question,
gonna say that very. I
Yeah.
understood the words, but they made no sense to me.
yeah, what's Ari is like freaking
These are-
out right now because like huge Critical Role fan, but
These are
what's
different
Avalir? What's the Tree of
places.
Names? What's
none of you actually know
No.
any of what they're referring to.
No, but these have to be different cities or even continents. Potentially.
You guys, there's more.
And it's the tree of what?
The Tree of
Names.
Names.
And
So I will say this. I will say, let's call it a history check. If you are proficient in history, you can make a check right now.
also hydrate and posture check?
5, not 20.
Nice.
I don't even want to roll.
Oh my god.
So-
I have -2. Can I
Oh my
roll?
god.
No. So,
You gotta be prepared.
yeah. So I will say this. It's not so much that you are trying to piece together these locations, these names, these things. Everybody kind of pieces together that they are talking about in plain speak. This is a location. This is an object. This is a people. But because of the way it's talking and the use of words like scientific and here's this object, blah, 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 you put together, Cult in Nagheim, that you're standing in a laboratory. And yes,
Yes.
there still are 2 entries that can be activated.
All right. So,
I'm
Nagheim, I hope your big old brain recorded that. We're gonna watch another one. Maybe it'll give us like a little bit of context as to what that one was.
the nice thing about having a photographic memory.
Mm-hmm. And I'll play the next one down
Okay.
from the one I just played.
Highlighting the next line of text on the screen that hovers just above the marble ball console. Once again, it lights up in green, and you tap the top of the ball to begin yet another possible recording. Once more, this time across the room on your right side, the tall uniformed figure appears again.
We have been successful in propagating multiple trees from the original seedling. We have found many strange occurrences within the structure of this quote-unquote tree. It requires no traditional means of sustenance, but instead seems to be sustained by a particular resonance within Exandria itself. And what it releases is not oxygen, but pure arcana energy, as well as something we cannot yet identify. Even its physical structure, deep within the core of even a single branch, there lie paths outside of typical plant material. I am currently looking over the findings of one of my other colleagues here who has a working theory that, well, this can't be right. End recording.
Jason, is that you doing the voice?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds so different.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, did you get someone else to
And that's
record
some
that?
very good acting work.
You know, I do have many talents, all right.
I know, but it was like, oh, it might be the crackle on it. It was like, it kind of sounds like a different person doing it.
It's all me,
was that
baby.
you?
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
So were they trying to propagate this tree of names?
I don't think they were supposed to. I think they were supposed to just keep the seed safe in case.
Oh, in
But-
case something happened to the original trees? That
Potentially.
So what I'm
But-
getting is the tree. Oh, go ahead, Nagham.
Sorry, I was going to say it seems that curiosity got the best of them, potentially. But something that gives off pure arcane. The power that terrible people could get from this. Is there more?
There's one more, I think, and Colt will highlight it and play it.
Okay. Activating this last recording listed. You're startled at first to see the tall uniformed figure standing so close to you, Colt, that their arm seems to bleed into your own. Stepping back and away from the console, you wait to hear the voice once again.
This is something completely unheard of. We will need to redefine the word impossible because what we are dealing with right now is as real as anything under the sun and moons. They are sending out an envoy to Dominus to speak with these Gaudrashari and get a better understanding of what it is we are dealing with. Secrets be damned. What we are dealing with is unprecedented. I do not wish to state fact when so much is unknown, but it appears that the core of the Tree of Names' genetic makeup is language. I sound foolish just saying the words aloud. This is to be continued upon my return. End recording.
The recording itself seems to end abruptly. Even the light and the low-pitched hum emanating from the pyramid in the center of the room slowly begins to fade to silence once more. The glowing screen displayed in front of you fizzles and fades away, and in the darkness, you notice there is a slow, pulsating glow from somewhere within the room. What do you all do?
I want to go towards that pulsating glow.
Make an investigation check, please.
I'm gonna assist if they want it to roll with advantage.
Go for it.
Where is I?
And thank you, White.
Yeah, I just read that. I'm like, yeah, it's super.
You can't see it.
like-
That's me.
Oh, let me roll another one because it was with advantage, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. 21.
boom.
So, you notice that some of the vines that extend away from the center console, even coated in as much frost as they are, they emanate a weak green glow that seems to pulse out towards the floor. You now see that there may have been some sort of hatch or section that has been removed to allow access for these cables at one time. But whatever damaged this space must have caused the flooring to collapse at this section.
So is the floor open to go into?
You see that there's a lower level beneath this lab area, and that the cables seem to descend down below.
I look at Nagheim. I'm like, can I climb on these?
You'll have to test, but I feel like these may be the roots of the tree.
All right.
Well, they are going down.
I'm gonna look over the side and like kind of inspect the roots to see their tensile strength and make my way down.
Okay. We lost a character.
She just went to get water. She
Gotcha.
says.
No worries. All right. Lowering yourself down to the next level where the cables travel underneath the floor. Once again, you find an open circular room that has been utterly destroyed in whatever chaos fell upon this space. Even though the size and shape of the room seem similar, there's a different layout, and immediately you can tell there was a very specific purpose to this new section. And I will get everybody who wants to make an investigation check.
Investigations.
24.
Excellent.
4.
Excellent.
26.
Excellent.
Oh, fuck off.
Rose is going to come back and she's going to get a natural 20.
One-upping between us.
Constantly.
Amazing.
I don't even know why I stay here.
Because when something attacks us, you kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Bury that.
Absolutely. All right. I will assume that Rose is going to land somewhere between Viri and Nagheim's roll. So here's what you find. Viri and Rose. Along these walls, there are inlaid tables and turned over or destroyed benches where a number of stations have assorted tools and machinations specific to each table. And yet, whatever their purpose or use, you can't exactly tell. Nagheim. Once again, there is a circular space that lies in the center of the room. This time, however, where the pyramid sat above, there is now a shattered glass tube that extends from the ceiling to the base of this floor. And as you search the perimeter of the center space for another similar console with the marble ball as above, you notice scattered along the floor, a number of bent and warped metal trays. And Cult, as Nagheim comes around the corner and sees these metal plates, you are already bent over, kneeling down and inspecting one of them. And as you turn it over, you find that there is a recess on one side that has a shape almost identical to the one in the drawing that you've discovered at the Dionysus camp. And finally, once again, Cult finds a similar console to the one above, where a frosted over sphere rests within the flat surface of the console. After carving it free and allowing the ball to move freely, you're somewhat disappointed to find that, unlike above, this one does not seem to activate any light sources or images. And I will get... I will ask... Yeah, Nagheim and Cult, please make an intelligence check. Or one can do it with advantage.
Hey, +5.
Go big brain. Quick advantage. Roll good though.
21.
Oh yeah.
Not good enough. No, I'm kidding. All right. Nagheim, upon entering this room, you were so overtaken with looking around to the new discoveries that were all around you that you almost forgot what led you in this direction in the first place. Looking up to the gap in the ceiling, you can still see the faint pulse of one of the vines that hangs down from above. But at the end of this particular vine is a square-shaped attachment that has 3 metal prongs sticking out from it.
First of all, that looks like a person in the tube.
Is that just the art?
Oh, yes, just the art.
Okay.
We're just to give us a basic idea
Okay.
of the room.
Yeah, yeah. I can't control the art, guys. It's just inspiration for me.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Does it look like the tube was like connected and needs to be reconnected, or like the vine or whatever? Yeah. Okay. Cult. Can
Yeah.
you get up there?
Likely. And Cult's gonna hand Nagheim the tray with the imprint of the sketch, and he's pretty much a say what you see kind of guy right now. As he's like, oh guys, look at this thing I found here. Oh yeah, no, I could totally go up there. This is what I found up here, guys. So
Hey
just-
Rose,
just
wanna
to
play some
establish.
dice?
Yeah.
This is. Cult, try to connect that vine to the prongs. This is the exact same image that we found at the camp. Were they creating the weapons here?
Like the vestiges of divergence? Oh wait, I'm scrambling. I'll go scramble to try and connect what Nagheim told me to.
Okay. Easy enough. You grab the vines that you used to kind of crawl down here. And you see that there is a prong. And what's going on? Those dice to play with Furia. Maybe not now.
Oh no.
So as you disconnect the vine, you look at the 3 prong thing, and it's still having that kind of soft glow pulse to it.
Are there other prongs that we see, or?
Both of you make an investigation check, please.
Okay.
I'll try to guidance myself.
I mean, maybe there's another glowing
Dirty
one
20.
somewhere.
21.
You
56.
two, just fucking get her over with, okay?
Well, I rolled a 56 on my guidance for myself,
Okay.
so that would make it 24. So I win.
Brilliant.
But did you roll a D100?
Yes,
I
they
did.
Yeah.
I've got a 56.
Yeah. So, with that, you're looking around, you're looking for a cable. You didn't think until just now to look at the console itself. And as you're brushing away certain frosted over coverings to see if there's anything that would help you instruct on how to use this, you do see that there is an insert where 3 prongs could be placed into.
Alt. Bring it here.
Oh, yep. And I'll bring it there.
Wait, yeah. Were they making the vestiges of divergence? Were they trying to create powers of gods?
I mean,
Weren't the
For-
vestiges gifted by the gods, though?
That we know of. But mortals have always wanted to surpass the gods.
they want more.
So they were trying to
That's a traditional
create
TAL'DOREI
more
song.
vestiges.
I have a theory. What if they were trying to make things better than what the gods could? What if they wanted to be better than the gods?
I
I mean,
mean, seeing how this place is buried under a bunch of ice, that probably didn't go so well.
It would
I rec-
explain so much if the gods said no.
Cult?
it feels absolutely like, you know, mortals playing with shit they don't understand. and trying to, you give someone an inch, they're going to take a mile. It feels kind of like that.
And
A little bit of hubris going on.
there is a deity who's been chained away that would know of this, I believe. And it would make sense that the chained oblivion would be wanting to acquire the power that humanoids did to try to fight the gods.
I mean, you kind of lost me there. How would the Chained Oblivion know about this if he's
Because
been
the gods
chained?
locked him away, or locked it away.
Yeah, so how
The
would
chained
he know?
oblivion could be older
Huh.
than the calamity. And it could explain why also wanting to get power from the understanding and controlling the past.
I will ask Nagheim to bring your mic closer because you're like cutting out kind of crazy. Yeah.
So it would make sense if the chained oblivion or those following it wants control over the past. They could not only prevent the chained oblivion being captive, but also prevent whatever happened here or steal what was created here.
I have a feeling we're going to need a big whiteboard.
As you say, still standing there with a
Yeah.
plug in your hand.
Yes, just plug that in.
Oh yeah, of course. Plug. That's the sound it makes when you plug something in.
Rose, did you want to say
Honestly,
something?
you lost me at I believe that, and then it.
Yeah,
That's-
I think if we
That's
sort of
okay.
take a big piece of paper and write down all the information, then we
I mean,
can
she
start
can't
making
read,
connections.
so
I think
We can explain it better because I'm a little bit lost as well.
So I believe that the people who lived here were trying to defy the gods. And I think the Chained Oblivion wants what they had, which is the vestiges of divergence.
I mean, if you're a pissed off, locked up god with a chip on your shoulder, yeah,
You'll
power
want,
is probably a good thing.
and one way to get it is either finding the information of where they are or what they are, or going in the past and collecting them. And I think we shut down. Well, not going to get them specifically, but being able to look into the past for the direct answer. And I think
Okay.
we shut that down.
no,
It's the
no
looking-
offense, but we could come up with theories for a very long time, but we should probably do what we're here for.
Yeah,
This
Um,
is what we're here for.
I am more curious about
Where's
the
the
looking
lid?
into the past, so we'll put a pin in that because I'm not too sure how that fits into it.
All right, can you put the thing in the thing?
Plug. You're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. The soft, pulsating green glow from the vine becomes a steady light source. Not much brighter than it was before, but at least it is a constant now. Constant flow now. A low hum can be heard from the circular desk once more. But looking around the space, no light source or voices have been activated as of yet.
Is the vine that I used to plug it in damaged in any way?
Nope.
And where does it lead to? What's the other end?
You plugged it straight down into the console.
And the other end of the console.
On the
Where
opposite
does-
side?
Yeah, thank you.
There's nothing vine-wise or connective-wise, just the little ball in the desk there.
Oh, sorry. I don't think I was being clear. The plug that I plugged into the console,
Mhm.
is that connected to something? Like a cord?
Yeah, the vine that you climbed down from.
Okay.
So
and
you took
that's
that,
Fine.
plugged it into the console where the circular,
Okay.
that whole space. So now
Is
it's
that-
lit up.
Should we try and...
Try it.
Fury just
Oh,
goes
I
to touch
just,
it.
Okay.
I thought you said it wasn't working at all still. My bad.
No, just didn't turn it on like Viria just did now.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Pretty much.
My mind's still, I'm still like
See, this
Charlie
is what having a
Walling.
This
big
is new
brain
technology, so I
yeah.
can't really blame you.
Which I use every day in my actual life.
Yeah.
Vario will punch the computer once it doesn't start working. you
Oh, it
know,
works
but-
right away. Let's not
so,
punch the
yeah.
fucking computer, okay? Jesus. So, once more, a beam of light projects down in front of you, Viria, from a smaller pyramid that is attached to the ceiling above you. A similar image of text appears before your eyes as you manipulate the marble ball in the console. Once again, there are multiple entries listed, and as you roll the tiny green source of light over top of the text, some flash a static red, while others highlight what is listed in green. What do you do?
I'll go for the first green one.
Okay. Again, the familiar image of that tall, uniformed individual blinks in and out of existence. The hunch in their back more exaggerated as they appear to be seated, leaning over the console to your left.
Druids give me such a headache. It has been months since we've been back to the lab here. Thanks to my colleagues who know how to speak to people who are more obsessed with nature than the mystic and scientific worlds we live in, I believe we have some answers. Albeit answers that add even more questions. My original hypothesis that the genetic makeup of the tree of names was built on language, as ridiculous as that sounded, is not far off from the truth. Combined with their archaic magics and the ether of Exandria, the Gaudrashari created this tree, this vessel that holds within it, quote, the names of all things that came before, and tethered to those things beyond which should not come. Like I said, druids give me such a headache. I think it's time we had a conversation with our friends in the great city of Avalier. The time for secrets is over. We must know what we are dealing with if there's any potential for our societies going forward. End recording.
The image fades out as the recording ends. You can see there are still 2 entries that are accessible from the marble console. Go take care of your fucking dog. Go.
No, I have to pee really badly. I'll be back.
You're the Albert.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody's just bailing at the most important part. That's fine.
Da-da-da.
So we're gonna
Oh,
take
shall I-
a quick 5-minute
Okay.
bathroom break, folks. Stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, run. Welcome back, everybody.
They have nervous bladders.
Why? This is all fun and
I've
games.
just
What you talking
consumed a
about?
lot of adult beverage.
Yeah, same.
Yes, Albert, we know. We
Orbeez.
love you too. You'll stop being a snow owl soon. I promise.
One day.
One day, you'll be a real boy. All right. So, the image fades out as the recording ends. There are still 2 unplayed entries on the log. What do you do? Since
Next
Viri's-
one.
Yep. Once again, the tall, uniformed individual appears, this time pacing frantically around the space around you. This is stealth
All
writing, guys.
around me are familiar faces.
Now they seem to be fidgeting, first wringing their hands, then smoothing their clothes, adjusting their hair and spectacles, reaching for objects before turning around in a different direction altogether. Kind of like a physical embodiment of the way your friend Cult speaks on a regular basis. But then the recording begins.
Apologies for the extended time between recordings. So much has been unfolded before my eyes that I am struggling to keep up with our findings. This tree of names, this vessel of possibility, the power held within this creation is beyond compare. It is a living, breathing organism of all existence. I hardly believe even the druids knew exactly what a powerful artifact they were creating when they conceived of this tree. They don't know what they've done. There is an idea that has developed in my mind as of late that, if possible, and standing before this tree, I'm hard-pressed to think of what is not possible anymore. But if it is so, then I believe we are one step closer to becoming one with the gods. Dare I say, even surpass them. End recording.
Hell, Nihheim.
Yep. Called it. High five.
And there's still 1 recording left.
I'm just like, Viri's just kind of like mumbling, like, how can you? I thought trees grew in nature. How do you create trees? And I will press on the last recording.
The tall, uniformed individual stands straight for the first time since you began viewing these recordings, looking up in awe at the center of the room where the shattered cylinder stands.
We've done it. I can't believe this worked. We have created a device that holds in its core a pocket dimension of endless scope or proportions. And sitting at the heart of that space lies a propagated seedling of the Tree of Names. It will have infinite space to grow and blossom, even though being untethered from Exandria. Its new source of energy comes from those of us born from the world. We are now the energy source for these trees of names. As was stated before, the genetic makeup of these trees is history. Everything that came before and everything that is to be makes up the entirety of the Tree of Names. And that's where my invention begins. The device that encapsulates the Tree of Names in its pocket dimension, it allows us to view that time as if it were illustrated before our very eyes. Surrounding us, enveloping us, it is quite a sight to be able to see the entirety of history left before your eyes. Even the stars cannot compare to the majesty of it all. I fear that I may start to sound like the druids with this next sentiment, but it fills me with an overwhelming sense of purpose when you literally see your connection to all of history. We have made a number of these dodecahedron constructs to send off to our sister cities around Exandria in order for them to follow our studies and see if there is more that can be discovered with this newfound power. Today is most certainly a day of celebration. Tomorrow, I dare say, is the dawn of a new era. End recording.
One of the last images to appear before the recording ended was an object that the uniformed individual held within their hands. A dodecahedron with what looked to be opaque glass panes, similar to the shape and design etched on a page you've brought with you on your journey. All 12 opaque panes are held together with ornate metal castings that combine to give it its final shape. Even in this image made from a trick of the light, you can see that something faintly swirls within the center of that object. But only one of you recognizes it for what it has come to be known as throughout the centuries since this event. And I'll ask Nagheim to make a low DC history check, please.
Mm-hmm. 19. I rolled a 4.
You don't realize it as it's happening, but you start mumbling to yourself aloud, clear enough for the others to hear you. A single light emerged from the darkness at the creation point of the universe. Other lights formed around this light, but those lights settled as stars. The single light, which was later called the Luxon, resisted that urge to burn and instead traveled, seeking self-knowledge. The Luxon traveled without much comprehension, knowing only that they were light in the darkness, and occasionally passed other things of light. The Luxon, having noticed a particularly lonely planet, began to embrace the world and gave their light to the planet, cracking the surface and giving it fiery life. The elemental chaos gave birth to titans called the Primordials, and they erupted and fought each other and the land and the Luxon. Finding no consciousness in the elemental chaos and seeing the primordial souls being lost to the darkness as they killed each other, the Luxon broke into scattered beacons that would enact a cycle of rebirth for those who were bound to their light, in hopes that those beings would gradually learn and mature, and one day something would find and reassemble the Luxon, at which point the Luxon would ask them, what am I, and what is my purpose? It was in the darkest days after the calamity that the Drow discovered the very first Luxon beacon, maybe less than a millennia ago. But what Nagheim has been mumbling, that has always been the legend. That was the mythos of the origin of the Luxon beacon, the creation myth that is believed by all of the Kryn dynasty. What you've all discovered here is proof that none of that is true. That the Luxon beacon, which is worshipped by much of the Drow culture, is in fact just a construct built by mortal hands. If you are proficient in religion, I'll get you to make a check.
Also, welcome readers.
Oh, hello!
Yeah.
we were all like
Huge.
just huge like lore dump, but welcome.
Oh my god,
19.
epic lore.
Thank you pour une poignée de pièces d'or.
So both you and Rose, having been closely tied to religions of a sort. Imagine, if you would, the most formidable and familiar names in the pantheon that are known across Exandria. Worshipped and adored by millions, lives that have been guided and directed by their words and deeds. Imagine the influence, faith, and guidance that has come from those deities. Now imagine it was all a lie. Imagine if the world discovered this lie. You now feel the full weight of why this discovery's secrecy was so important.
Oh, this is big.
What's up? Why is this
Well,
big?
Well, basically, like everything is a lie.
Wow. Not everything,
Well, a lot of things.
but everything that the Drow know is wrong. The
Like-
entire religion of my people
But you
is
worship
wrong.
Shah, so is Shah... What?
The Luxon. I do not worship the Luxon because I
What's the
grew up
Luxon?
outside of Drow society. But the thing, what they believe, the deity that gives them rebirth, the reason I was taken so far away from my people to keep the information safe, this is what my past self found out. My past life figured this out and wanted to keep it a secret. The Drow have connections to look not just into their past selves, but the past entirely. Everything that has ever happened. And knowledge is power. And these people want to free the chained oblivion. And in
Huh?
order to do that, they need to know how it was chained. And
Well, whoa, wait, what's to tell you that these people wanted to free the chained oblivion? I mean,
that is why
I-
anyone who worships it,
but
the-
why are you saying they're
Well-
worshipping it? Yeah.
Rose?
I'm just confused how we got to these people. Like, you mean the scientist?
no,
You lost me.
your
Oh,
wife.
wait, so you're saying, yeah, her wife and the cultists are trying to get their hands on this thing that allows them to peer into history? Is that...
Potentially.
Oh, okay.
If
Didn't
they
help me.
are able to grab hold of it, they could learn.
Okay, see, this is why we don't play the pronoun game. When you were saying they, I thought you meant the scientist who came up with this whole
Same.
thing.
Colt's gonna just turn away and barf a little.
But these people wanted to become stronger than the gods themselves. There's a reason this place has been destroyed as much as it has. I-
Meta Fred here. Can you stop using these people? Because I am losing me every single time.
The scientists, these
Thank you,
people
okay.
who are here,
So
currently
scientists,
where we
cultists.
are,
Yep.
they might have become enough of a threat where the gods ended them. And some people must have gotten out with the information. So the records could land into the hands of the cultists or whomever had them. And that's could be why the secrets they tried so hard to keep the secret a secret.
And
I
then,
mean, this place is trash. Maybe they got attacked.
well,
I think
Vernid's
that-
people are probably safe. regarding this whole
Yes.
place because
And
of the information it can
Rose,
potentially, yeah.
I think this place was attacked by the gods. Because the scientists, they created what is now viewed as a god. They created the Luxon, the deity that gives the Drow their reincarnation, that gives them everything. And they're not gonna let us leave.
Okay, so because I know next to nothing about the Drow. The Drow worship this deity, but turns out it was man-made. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
How
Ari gets
how
this.
did the Drow learn about this made-up deity?
they
Like history-wise.
Do you want me
When
to fill you in? Or-
when people
Got this?
find information that they cannot explain logically, they reach and assume it's from the gods.
Yeah, mortals look at the sun and call it God.
So they had found this object, which the scientists have said was sent out throughout the world at the time to different cities for people to experiment. So it makes sense that eventually, after the gods put an end to it, there's no way they could have gotten everything. Something slipped through the cracks, and the Drow happened to find it. And the Drow have made it their lives' mission to collect everything because it's part of the Luxon. But really, the Drows are just collecting the science experiments that these people, like the scientists, were working on.
Yeah, and worshipping as a god.
But if this information gets out, it will say that everything that the Drow worship is a lie.
Oh, we shouldn't.
Everything their society is built upon. They
Okay.
believe it is their birthright.
We
Theory?
shouldn't, like, we won't go and dash their hopes. Like, if they want to worship this thing as a god, like, freedom to them. But the thing is, at this point, do we think the cultists are looking for this Luxon?
I
I
think so.
I think they're looking for this tree, or the seedling is what's left
Yes.
over, correct? That
Yes.
allows you to. We've got to. I mean, I'm just gonna go big picture here for a moment. All the little details we're not gonna worry about. We can't let anybody get a hold of this, good or evil. No one should have access to this.
This
Well,
explains why I was a target.
It really does.
Well, my past self.
Your past self. And now we all know. And we can't know. No one can know this.
But I can't forget it.
I know. Which is a bit of a problem.
I mean,
But do we agree
this is
that
what we came for. We don't have to, give out all of the information we found out. It's just we want to know what the cultists are after. And now we sort of know.
yeah,
Not sure, but kind
which
of.
is putting
Which
us
is what
in
we-
a good direction.
Yeah, it's what we came for. So, I mean, if they're looking for this artifact, then we start looking for this artifact and hope we make it first.
What happens when we find this artifact?
We either have. I don't know how many are out there, how many the Drow have collected.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the Luxon, I'm talking about the seedling. That contains all the history of the world. That's what I'm imagining that the cultists are going for.
Yes.
Make
But
a
we'll have
history
to-
check, you two.
Oh.
Dirty 20.
17.
Until this moment, neither of you have ever heard of a tree of names.
Yeah. but they might not know of what they are looking for, but they might know that there is more to the dodecahedrons than what we believe. I
Mhm.
mean, this is a stretch, but what if research from my past life was released, somehow gotten out of, and they're going off of that? What if somebody else made the connection after or before and spilled it?
Does it look like can I use my survival to see if we are the first people in a long time to be in here?
Sure, go for it.
Sweet. Oh god, that's a 13. Okay, 13.
Can
Oh,
I see
I
the
am proficient, so +5, 18.
I mean, you didn't see any like footprints or anything like that. Didn't look like anything was disturbed before you guys got down here.
Can I see the
Alright.
pages?
Mm.
I mean, none of the images on here look like a tree or a sapling, however you want to call it. So chances are they weren't looking into that, right?
It might not be the tree itself, but they might know that the dodecahedron has
Well,
more to it.
They were definitely looking into that, because this looks like what we saw, right, Jason? Just making sure I'm not confusing any of the information, like...
It's at that moment that you say like this, right? That Cult realizes that they're still holding one of the metal plates, which you now kind of piece together that that's the mold for making the plates of the dodecahedron.
Okay.
So, trying to piece it together as simply as possible, you might be holding an instruction manual, Viria?
They might have been trying to maybe make their own.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he gets a nosebleed. Okay.
Tissue.
Thank you.
Did we
Um,
pack ale?
I've got bourbon,
I
and he's
Yeah,
gonna
ale
take.
doesn't keep very well, Rose,
I-
unfortunately.
should I try to
Once it's
teleport us
opened.
out?
Well, we can't
We-
really leave Vernet out there.
Yeah, and we also promised to go back to the village in.
We promised, but if they don't know where we went,
They're connected to Kieran Sari, correct?
Yeah.
they can
yeah.
be, but how are they going to let us leave knowing this? They said they have to approve of what we've learned before they let us leave.
I will
To
say anyone
communicate
who would
to
like
someone
to.
else.
I will say what if anyone would like to, you can make a wisdom check.
Sure. Check. Jesus fucking Christ, 13.
Oh, Rose!
Damn.
High five!
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
So between
19.
the two of you guys, I mean everybody pretty much succeeded, but Rose and Cult especially. On one hand, you have Cult, who remembers that the option was to come back and have a talk. And practically anything outside of that, you're never seeing the light of day again. Rose, on the other hand, is like, we made a promise and you should stick by your promise. That's why I love Rose.
Wait,
I mean, it
so
wasn't too long ago that we had an argument, seeing things through, so...
Oh, I plan on seeing things through. I'm just curious as to how much information we're bringing back to these Aloysio.
Oh,
Well,
wasn't
we
the
just have to
agreement that
lie.
wasn't the agreement that like we couldn't tell this to anyone? But they never said they wouldn't let us go if we knew certain things.
Oh,
They
is
wanna
that what it
keep
is?
things-
That we
That's
know.
not. That is not what I took from that. My apologies. I thought if we found out something, we are not seeing the light of day again.
No,
That's what I.
no.
they said
that's-
we just. They said there's just some information we can't share to other people.
100%. Let's not share this with anyone, and let's make sure they know that we're being genuine.
I mean, I barely
About that.
understand it, so that's not a
I'm
problem
having
here.
I'm having some trouble, but I'm seeing the big picture here. I don't know how the Luxin got constructed. Is it from the energy from the tree? Is the
Yes.
Luxin? Okay, that's good. And then they made the Luxin, so if you have the Luxin, you get the power of the tree to see all the
You
histories.
get to look into it, and I'm
Okay.
sure there's a way to amplify it to use it as a way to get to the tree, or to tap fully into the tree. I would need a Luxin itself to potentially try to study it.
So that'll be our goal. Is this place stays underground? We will even collapse the chasm if we have to. Although
I would ask them to.
yeah, like get all those people in that village to come and just let's dig this.
Well,
fill it in.
If they are druids, since I've seen some of them shapeshift,
That's true.
maybe they have
They
a
trying
connection
to
to the
protect.
earth where they could potentially cave this in.
What if
That's
they're
true.
the druids that the researcher, scientist, whatever, was talking about?
Or ancestors.
Were they
that's
working
obvious.
sort of with the scientists? Was that what I was getting from that?
Well,
I
don't
feel like they were
were
in a connection.
There was a connection. I believe maybe they were consulting together. Regardless, I think they'll be probably okay with that. Our next step is, I believe the cultists are going to be looking for a Luxin.
Well, we
So
got
we've got to
what
find
we-
out. Go ahead.
I think the next step is going back to Kirinsari and telling him we know what the cultists are after, which is creating their own Luxin.
Or
I think-
finding one.
Yeah.
But if it's creating, he might have ways to figure out where the ingredients, not ingredients, but
Components.
could be found, and maybe of suspicious activity with collecting them.
What's up, Jason?
I don't know who would piece this together or come to this realization, but there's something tickling the back of your brain when you say, we know what they're after now. The entire time you guys have been down here, you've found absolutely nothing that connects to the vestiges of divergence. So you have two pieces of information, one of which is still a mystery. And we'll have to find out next week.
My brain hurts.
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna have to rewatch the VOD.
Next week, we'll see where we
Explain
go
it
from
to me
here.
Like I'm 5.
All right. So, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Raiders, for popping in there.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Appreciate that every time it happens. And yeah, we will be back here next week. Next week
Yes.
with a bit of a surprise. And I'll leave it
Yeah.
at that for now. So thank you. Take care. And as we always like to say at the end of our streams,
Have
My brain hurts.
Same.